More and more clouds move in, but the evening is dry. We're dry overnight, 41. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a couple of scattered showers and thunder showers late in the day on Wednesday. Wednesday, basically a dry day, a windy 65. Scattered showers and thunder showers around Wednesday night and into Thursday, 67 on Thursday. This is not a severe weather outbreak. This is not a heavy rainmaker, just some kind of typical April showers, and we're okay with that. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Siding Express and SidingExpress.com. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie Siding installation. Visit SidingExpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. SidingExpress.com. Sunshine 47 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Rest in peace, Clem Burke, the amazing drummer for Blondie, passed away yesterday. Wheels, I can't see you at all, brother.
I mean, I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
just
so short.
You're just a rumor over there.
I'm sorry. I'm short, man. Can't do anything about it anymore, though.
We're a slave to these cameras.
Well,
that's what it is.
So it is.
Jake, hello, Robert.
You just got to look at your screen. You can see me nice and clear.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
I've been doing that because when people sit at mics 2 and 3 over there, I cannot see them at all. So when I'm directing a question to a guest or something, I just look at the screen. But then I'm like, in real life, that probably comes across super rude.
Yeah, it's probably makes them feel weird.
But I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
See, he's a little bit behind. Like when Wheeler speaks, the camera's off, is what I'm saying. Okay. So that kind of throws me. Yeah.
See, on mine, it's not.
Really?
When I'm looking at mine, it's synced up.
I have the inferior camera.
I don't know about that. Maybe the inferior computer.
You guys want to do some dream analysis?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was telling Rage last night. I've been I'm a dreamer all the time, but the last week or so, it's just been crazy. And last night I had this dream that I was in a dark house, not mine, with people, not sure who, and Bigfoot was coming to visit.
Get out.
And I was super excited, but also scared because I hadn't met him and he could eat my head. And so I kept looking out the dark windows and I would see shapes moving around. And then there came a knock at the door and I opened the door and it was the foot, but it was just a 9-foot Michael Kelly.
So Michael Kelly.
And I was wearing, instead of shoes, I was wearing plastic peanut butter containers.
Is there peanut butter still inside?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. I could curl my toes and feel it, and I was embarrassed. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm finally meeting Squatch, and here I am.
Isn't that weird about dreams too? I highly doubt you've ever had your foot inside of a peanut butter jar, but I bet you know what it feels like now that you had that dream.
Oh yeah, I've always said I know what it feels like, especially to be stabbed. I get stabbed more than shot.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't get anything much anymore, but when I was a kid, I used to have night terrors, and I would lucid dream, and I would make myself wake up, and I would get stabbed and shot and things like that. And I'm sure it's a little different, but like anyone who has dreamt like that the way that I dream. And look, I think I have very vivid dreams, but I don't know. I've never been in your head and had a dream. Maybe yours are way crazier than mine.
No idea. I had a weird one the other night, though. I almost never remember any dreams. Almost never. And I had a weird one that my wife and I, we were at a party with friends, and it was just our normal friends crew. And in the dream, I was so drunk, I couldn't keep my eyes open. And I kept falling asleep. So I was like on the couch and I fell asleep. And then they're always waking me up like, hey, wake up. You're drunk. I'm like, all right, cool. And
wake up, you're drunk.
And I'm back to the living. And then I would go sit down over there and I'd fall asleep. And it probably happened in the dream. I probably fell asleep from being drunk 5 times. And I've never been drunk.
Was it pleasant?
I don't. It was weird. No, it wasn't unpleasant. It wasn't like I didn't wake up being like ah. It was just weird. Like, what the heck kind of dream is that? Like, I'm so drunk in my dream that I can't keep my eyes open. And that's all I remember is people waking me up.
What fascinates me is that my brain decided you're going to dream about Bigfoot. It's going to look like Michael Kelly.
And it's going to have
It constructed a 9-foot Michael Kelly. It put plastic peanut butter, and they were shaped like fish bowls. They weren't even shaped like Jif or Jiffy or whatever. And I was embarrassed. I was just like, I can't believe this. I finally meet him.
Oh, man.
We need to get someone to analyze these dreams.
I think it's the biggest crock of crap.
You did?
Well, okay.
Yeah,
I
I've had a few
agree-
on the show.
I agree on some level. I think that whenever it's like when a pigeon shows up in your dream, it always means
Right.
this. I think that is probably complete bunk.
Yeah.
But as far as like, it is your subconscious trying to work something out. Not in every case, but in some cases, it could be your
Yeah.
brain just trying to figure something out. It
Yeah.
could be a reflection of how you feel about certain scenarios. So,
I'm still laughing yesterday about the cannabis moms.
Yeah.
And some of you online heard this, and most of you didn't because Rach is good at the dump button. But it was like legitimately funny. It was like a bit out of a sitcom or a movie.
It was great.
And there were two ladies here, Kimberly and Jessica, and I believe it was Jessica was saying like, "Oh yeah, I don't like to drink. I'd rather smoke because when I drink, I turn into sort of and I go an ass." And she goes, "Yes, I didn't know if I could curse." And I look over at Kim and I see her eyes light up.
Because you're like, oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, and then and Jessica goes, "I didn't know if I could curse or not." And then I look at Kim and she just she grew 3 feet and she goes, "Oh, good. I was so effing nervous on my way here yesterday."
there are some curses we can say.
And
Some we
then-
can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, there are a few that don't want to go through.
Afterwards, she looked right at me and she goes, "You said we could curse." It was like that I think you should leave episode. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you're not completely
You said
wrong.
this was
I
the
did
adult
say that.
show.
That's great.
I don't want to cause anyone their worst day.
I
I
had, a,
just want to
I
know.
just want to know.
I had a weird dream that I wasn't gonna. I woke up and I was like, I should talk about this on the show. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to. But since you brought it up, my super weird dream last night was. It feels like the moment's passed and nobody cares about this anymore. But my super weird dream.
Well, by all means, go ahead.
You
with
got to
it.
push through, baby.
Was that we were doing the show in like one of those like ball pits at like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was filled with, and this is probably because I've been working my way through that 6 pounds of gummy candy. It was filled with like sour gummy candies, and it was the four of us, and it was Tom was there, Ackerman, and it was the four of us, and we were doing the show, and I was eating candy, and Tom was very distracted by my eating candy, and he kept saying things like, "Yeah, no, go ahead, you can eat the candy. It's not bothering me," but it seemed like it was bothering him because I was eating the candy out of the pit that we were all like
bothering me.
sitting in.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like loose candy.
Yeah,
in the
like
ball
loose
pit.
candy in the ball pit. I wasn't concerned with sanitation issues because it was a dream, but everybody else seemed to be.
Oh, is that the whole dream?
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Guess you had to be there.
Wow, Rach roasted him.
Yeah. That's the best
Oh, it just
Rach
kinda
roast
ended.
since Ranji got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the entire bit? Is that the funny
So
part?
that was the
Okay.
punchline of
Is
the
there
joke.
more?
Okay.
I had already
So
felt.
that's the interesting part.
I
Okay.
had already felt the mood shift. Everybody was like, "All right, we're done talking about dreams." And I was like, "Now's my chance."
It's hard to talk about dreams.
They always come out boring.
They do. And
Yeah.
then like you said, Dave, you've never seen another person's dream, so you really don't know how yours match up. Because I'm always like, sometimes I have these dreams, they're so cinematic. And I'm like, you sound like such a doofus when you say that. Because it's like everyone's probably having the same type of dreams. You're just
And I've
gassing
never
yourself
seen
up.
it really represented on film the way it is in my head. Like I've seen a gazillion movies about dreams, and some get closer than others, but do you agree? Like it never really captures it.
I feel like The Sopranos does a good job with dreams. It's one thing I really like.
That's
about that
true.
show.
When Tony was going through his thing when he got shot, that was
Or-
really
Yeah, and when he has food poisoning at one point and
Yeah.
he's having a ton of dreams and he works out that someone in the crew is a rat.
yeah.
But the way they do it is very interesting. I'm not saying like every dream is like that, but it's a very dreamlike
Yeah.
feel.
Ooh, I had another part of this, not a dream. Yesterday we did like most perfect things and dogs won. This one was really like a perfect moment. So when I woke up from my Bigfoot dream, I had been sweating and I was really dehydrated, like just cotton mouth, right? But I was cozy and I didn't want to get up. And I didn't want to go get a drink. And I hate water. And then I remembered I have a real Coke. I have a real Coke downstairs.
Oh, there you go.
And it had been in the fridge. And I went downstairs, nudie, and I took the Coke, popped it open, guzzled about half of it. Lord Almighty. It was just so good. It was just such a moment. They mentioned I was naked.
You also mentioned you hate water.
I hate water. I hate water. All reasonable people do. You drink it because
my
you'll die if you
gosh.
don't have it.
I love water.
Plus, soda's mostly water. So
It is. Yeah, it's like
Except for the parts that dehydrate you.
right. Exactly.
yeah,
Which
it's
is where I
90%
run.
I
water and
probably do live my life
10%
dehydrated.
I do. I've had to be really like extra drinky with it, like more water.
The extra
Even when I
drinky with
want
it.
it. I know it's crazy. That stuff will get you.
The extra drinking, your reedy phase.
Yeah.
during your reading time.
Man, I've chosen some words, haven't I? That's a pretty good couple days.
What was I thinking about? I didn't watch SNL this week, but someone did and told me about it, that they did a sketch. It was Trish told me about it, that she thought it was funny. And it was basically the first play ever put on.
Okay.
What a great concept.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
And everyone was waving at him and like didn't understand that he was play acting. And he's like, I'm just feeding my chickens. They're like, I don't see any chickens. But what, like, it happened with everything. The first time a guy juggled, he probably got burned at the stake, right? I mean, like the first time anyone does anything, you're just like, what the hell are you doing?
What is this sorcery?
Yes. What is this witchcraft?
He's defying the law. Well, at the time, they wouldn't have known gravity. Dang it. That was going to be bad.
Kay says, so Dave, I'd like to thank you for humming a part of a song the other day that now can I get out of my mind. What was it, Kay, if you remember? I don't know. I hum songs.
Sometimes in between thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say you generally don't hum much on the air.
I just hummed. What weird response did you give today when we were walking out?
I don't remember. What?
Oh, you just
I remember
grunted.
there's-
Oh, no.
response.
We were going out the front door.
And who said what?
I think. No, wait. Where? What?
I remember it. I
Okay,
remember
go
it.
ahead, figure it out.
Tammy, the security guard.
Right.
We're walking out and she goes,
Have a good lunch.
have a good lunch. And he went, bah.
I did. I went like,
He was like,
nah,
"Ah."
nah.
Why did you do
I
that?
And then we
don't
walked out and he
know.
goes, I have no idea why I did that.
Why'd you make that sound?
It was like just like a nah. Felt like I needed to acknowledge it, but I didn't know how. Like nah. Sometimes you just,
It's a bunch
It
of
happens.
weirdos.
I'm
Sometimes you
not
just
going
wear
to
it.
judge you for wheels.
It's
for all
fine.
The weird
You can
things I've
judge.
done.
I have a lot. I have 3 pages of notes.
Whoa.
It's going to be one of those days. First, let me tell you guys about Michael's Baths. You're in luck if you need a bath. If you don't care. You don't give a rat's ass. But if you need a bathroom remodel, you know that you're looking at jacuzzi, you're looking at 3-day kitchen and bath, you're looking at bath fitter. You can get the same job, but better because it's local. It's someone who's cell phone you have the number to. You don't have to call and be like, well, we have to move that up to the regional office. You're going to have to talk to Sam in Nebraska. No, you talk to Mike. Mike and one of his crews is going to be doing your bathroom. Something goes a little bit sideways. You call them. They're going to come out. They're going to make it right. He's going to do it about 30 to 50% cheaper than any of the aforementioned companies. Like I said, he's local. Every dime that you spend is going to stay here. It supports a couple of dozen families here in the St. Louis area. He's great at it. If you're a disabled veteran, you get one of these bathrooms for free, thanks to a VA benefit, which you have earned and deserve. So take advantage of it. If you're interested, call 636-775-0800 or go to michaelsbaths.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Community America Credit Union has a new branch in Hazelwood. Join me, Amy Markscores, Special Cardinals alumni, and Fred Bird on April 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the grand opening. There'll be exciting prizes and delicious food. See you there.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I got to listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's going to rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
.122 DG Ask 1041 FM KMOX. We're talking about witchcraft. Speaking of witchcraft, we're discussing this in the office earlier. When we were kids, those little paper things, if you're watching, you see what I'm doing with my hand.
Cootie catchers.
Foodie catchers?
Cootie
catchers. I never heard that.
That's what I called them as a kid.
Okay.
And that's what they were referred to on the PBS show Arthur. So
okay, good enough for me. I believed them. I might still believe them a little bit.
The what?
They're little paper things that girls would make, and it would be like, okay, name a color. You say blue. They go, give me a number, 8. You're gonna marry Daryl Engleton. You're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Like they would read your fortune.
Yeah. Usually a yes or no question.
Yeah, I called them oracles from hell.
I can make one.
Terrifying.
You can make one?
I can make one right now.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every girl learned how to do this when they were 8 years old, and it has stuck with them more than anything else from school. Every single millennial girl knows how to make these things.
I can't make jack. I can't make a paper airplane to save my life. I can't even make a little football.
Oh, I can make the.
That you can't.
I can't make the
I
football
can make a
either.
killer football, man.
I can make a wad of paper that you can flip.
Right? Yeah.
I can make a great wad of paper.
I can do that.
Dude, when spitballs were introduced into the equation,
yeah.
I was like, I
Not a
can't
fan.
believe this is legal.
Yeah,
I can't
not a
believe that
fan.
you're not getting expelled from school for doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one.
Biological weapons.
Yeah, they were great, man. You get a little straw action, and you could shoot them across the room.
Yeah, I'm with Rage. I was more of a target than a shooter.
Oh, yeah. We had
I would ask Kevin when the last time he shot a spitball was, but I
Oh.
know it was earlier today. So
It's probably it's within the last week for sure.
it was at Chris Ranji during the Gas House gang.
Yeah, that one time, you remember I mentioned how we mentioned that one nun cry in school? We accidentally got her, like she was facing the chalkboard, so we would occasionally like try to shoot him on the chalkboard, see if she would notice. And she
That's fun.
turned around and hit one right in the glasses, and it stuck to her glasses.
Damn.
We were like, oh,
Uh-oh.
and she didn't notice right away.
Oh no,
Yeah, was pretty weird.
What do you guys think of the dire wolves? You buying it?
Dude,
I'm not entirely buying it.
what's the basis for the doubt?
Basis for the doubt is that, well, first of all, there's already, I think, fair basis for a doubt because it's not a revival of dire wolves. I believe
Not 100%. No.
I believe it is just wolves that have some genetic material in common with the dire wolves that did not exist in wolves previous to that. So it's not as exciting as like a full revival of this, grand species.
They're just cute little puppies right now.
Yeah.
But if they grow and they are actually 7 feet long, like the dire wolves,
Well, they're supposed to. I saw the story. I said the scientists think that they're going to be 150 to 180 pounds when they're full grown. Which I don't think many of them in the wild are 180 pounds like the regular ones, because like what Andrew says is true, right? They used gray wolf DNA to fill in blanks from the DNA that they had from the dire wolf Simpsons.
Dogs whelp them,
right? And so there are going to be some differences. It's not going to be exactly the same.
I have been anxiously awaiting this woolly mammoth revival. I love woolly mammoths. I think they're like the coolest things. I've always been a fan of them.
Remember when I bought mammothmeat.com?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. That was
and didn't go the way I thought it would.
Well, and the thing is, your mammothmeat.com subscription has come and lapsed since this. I mean, it's been so long that they've been teasing us. Been so long since they've been teasing us with this, and I can't let my heart get too broken.
Yeah.
So I gotta have a healthy amount.
We
of
have woolly
skepticism.
mice. We're one step away.
Those are pretty cute.
They are pretty cute.
They're pretty cute, as are the wolf puppies. And if this company, if Colossal continues to do nothing but provide us with a cute picture every 6 months and go, hey, look at this cute thing we made.
Think about it too.
Okay.
Like, I know that wolves aren't people, but some being is now alive that never should have been. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Something that has some sort of consciousness is living and breathing and blood coursing through its body that never should have lived.
Dave, Chris is right outside.
Well, should have is maybe an interesting term, but would have otherwise not been is for sure. Because who knows? I mean, maybe we're supposed to figure this out.
I think that's a bigger jump than should have.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, the fact is we don't know.
I do.
All we do
We're not
is
supposed to figure out wolves.
Well, no, what we know is in the past we couldn't figure that out. So we assume that we weren't meant to, but maybe we were meant to.
Yeah, but if I'm wrong and there is a God, I doubt that in the primordial times, he's like, and then in 2025, they're going to make wolves.
Right, but he's giving us, under that guise, giving us the tools necessary to do it.
Look at you being
And if
religious.
he didn't want us to do it, then we wouldn't.
Rach, you done?
I think
I'm
that's
done.
Wow. Did you label it yet?
I haven't labeled it, but I wanted to get it done before the end of the segment.
So what would you write in there? Just different things or always the same things?
Kevin
So,
Stinky.
You could write like yes, no, maybe, try again.
I
always
gotcha.
did it as like a yes
like a
or no
magic
question
8 ball.
type. Yes.
Oh, okay,
precisely,
okay.
Precisely.
I
And it's
must
just
have
really
seen one of
fun to
those at one
do
point.
this motion with it.
Yeah, to move it around.
They
It's
used to
like-
put you on the spot, too. It'd be like, do you have a crush on Nancy Noel? And you're like,
and then it would always be like, maybe.
maybe. She's like, crush on me.
That looks like from Little Shop of Horrors. The
little Venus flytrap.
Feed me.
Yeah, Seymour.
Seymour. That's what it was.
Tell you guys about Universal Windows Direct. Much like Michael's Bads, if you don't need replacement windows, you can go to sleep for the next 55 seconds. But if you are interested in it, whether it's just your house and the windows are bad, which you're about to find out, because right now we're in a really temperate time in St. Louis, which we don't get much of. Soon it's going to be 85, 90, 95 degrees, and the air conditioning is going to go out of those bad windows. And you're going to be able to tell, one, you can feel it. Put your hand outside the windows, you can feel it actually hitting your hand. And then just from the heating and cooling bills, we can take care of those. It's going to give you a great ROI. When you go to sell your house, we are going to give you a lifetime guarantee, a lifetime warranty. Going to give you a 20-year warranty that you can pass on to whoever buys your house. We're going to give you buy two, get two free. We're going to give you no interest until 2030. That's crazy. We're also going to take $500 off your entire home improvement project. That's about as good as anyone can do. So call 314-334-2522 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At Hims, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that Hims can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
We take you now to Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Cool temperatures continue through the afternoon, though with lots of sunshine. Our temperature's a little cooler than yesterday and certainly below average. 55 for the high. Tonight, more and more clouds take over. All is dry this evening, dry overnight, 41. Wednesday, mainly a dry day, but mostly cloudy skies. Now, there will be scattered showers and thunder showers developing very late in the afternoon on Wednesday, 65 and a little windy. Some scattered showers and thunder showers around Wednesday night and into Thursday. Nothing strong, nothing severe, and rainfall amounts are light. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, John Nix Treasurer.
It's your money. $1 billion budget each year at City Hall. Darlene Green is the seat at the table for our community. Darlene Green manages our tax dollars with a steady hand. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller. Respected, trusted, our voice for the community. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller because it's your money.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates, Ameren Total Access 445. Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Our conversation with Ricky Horton is brought to you by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM. Our buddy Ricky Horton joined us. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Well, first of all, I know this because we're best friends.
Yes,
yesterday was your anniversary of joining the big leagues, if I'm not mistaken, back in 1984. So congratulations.
Thank you. It actually ended pretty well. I ended up going 3 innings and got a no decision. But the first pitch I threw in the big leagues was a home run, so it didn't start very well. But yes, I still celebrate. I'm still happy to kind of look back on that moment as kind of a pretty special day.
That's cool.
What was that like, Rick? Throwing that first pitch, he's like, well, F.
Well, it was a little bit better than the second pitch was a double. So, I mean, they're both pretty bad. And actually, I tell this story all the time. I walked to the back of the mound rubbing up a new baseball, which I had to do again. And as I'm rubbing up the baseball, I think I may have said out loud, I'm going to be the worst pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball. I mean, I've thrown 2 pitches, give up 6 total bases, and finally got the next guy out, and it was better after that. But boy, a rough start.
So we're going to get to the Cardinals. First, I have a Dave question. It drives me batty that we throw out baseballs if they, I mean, like literally last night, Pozo caught the ball, dropped it on the ground, and threw the ball out. I think that you should play with the same, like when we were kids, you played with the same ball till it went in the damn ditch. Like,
okay.
I mean, I know you don't want a pitcher to get an advantage, but haven't we gone a little bit overboard?
So when that first, interesting background on that, I mean, baseball got a little bit wise to the fact that they, did that in the early 1900s, and the only player that's ever gotten, player got killed playing baseball because he got hit by a ball late at night. I think it was in Chicago, and he got beamed. He couldn't see the baseball. It was like they didn't have lights, and so then they kind of said, well, we should have more baseballs in the game, and then so we went from that to, if it's scuffed, maybe pitchers will cheat. I've never heard such a thing of a pitcher cheating, but apparently that
only hitters cheat, Rick.
But good point. But here's what I would say, Dave. As in most things in the world, follow the money. I think they've been able to monetize every one of those baseballs they throw out by having them available at the team store. You get an official ball for, and I'm not being cynical about it, but let's be honest. There's always another reason. I think that's probably what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Although they started doing that really before they made a big business out of it.
Yeah. It was a loss leader. they saw it coming.
No, you're right. They buy in bulk, so they probably end up spending like $2 of all, and then they sell them for 10.
Yeah.
So they're going to make money on it. But also, I think you stinking pitchers had the advantage for so long they had to start fixing things, Rick.
Yeah, well, the advantage is going back to the pitchers, as we all know, because there's, they're all throwing a million miles an hour. The advantage for the pitcher, clearly, and we talked about it, and we don't need to go there again, but the advantage is for them for the short term, not for their careers, but for their swing and miss capability. So honestly, it makes me think about today, guys, as I'm sitting here looking outside of my window. Here's some good news and bad news. Good news is it is no longer snowing as it was 2 hours ago. Looking out of my window, I can see I think that's the Monongahela I'm looking at that connects to the Allegheny. But as I was looking out today, it was snowing, just flurries. So that was the kind of the bad news. But it's not snowing. The sun is shining, but the feels like temperature is 27 degrees. So Kevin, I wonder who has the advantage right now.
Paul Skeens.
Does he?
Oh, my God.
I would think it would maybe tamp him down a little.
No, there is nothing worse than hitting when it's cold. That might be the worst activity in the world because every time you hit it, it hurts.
So pitchers, Dave, can you can find a way to stay warm, and you're moving more than the hitter is. The hitter walks up to the box and stands there. Now they may be playing defense, but when you're playing defense, 90% of the time, other people are moving, not you. Yeah. And the pitcher's moving, the catcher's moving, everybody else is standing there. The umpires are standing there. The broadcasters are sitting there. So, I mean, it's kind of, and the fans are sitting there, frankly. I mean, it's miserable. I'm not a big fan of playing cold weather baseball. I guess that's what we're doing tonight, but it's going to get into the low 30s, and who knows what the feels like temperature will be.
Man, that's tough because, you know how it feels. Like, you're right. The only two guys that are typically loose when it's cold like that are the pitcher and catcher because they have the constant motion to maintain a sweat and you kind of get things moving. But man, those bats are frozen. You can leave them in the clubhouse and go get them and they'll be room temperature. But I mean, if they're out front, they're cold. Your hands are cold. Your muscles move slower when it's cold. And then when you got a guy who's got 7 pitches and, the fastball's 100 plus, the splinker is 96 and diving down. Yeah. I mean, like he is a different dude.
So here's what I would do if I was a manager, and this is not just in Pittsburgh, all across baseball tonight. A lot of cold temperatures, a lot of places. What I would suggest is you look at your roster and you only play players who were born north of the Mason-Dixon line. Because if you got a guy from Florida or Venezuela on your team, this is terrible for them. In fact, watching Mason Wynn and Nolan Arenado play defensively, they're dressed very differently than everybody else because they just don't really dig the cold.
Mm-hmm. So last night, Rick Liberatore, just one bad inning. I mean, I was very happy to see him bear down and come back.
I would say he did okay. I mean, I'd give him a B-, and they had a run added to him that they allowed after he came out. But I think the fact that he got into the 7th inning was pretty darn good, and he did have one bad inning, which is what he had in his first start. But I think Matthew Liberatore wasn't the problem yesterday. No. It again was the bullpen, and now 3 weeks from now we may be saying, wow, look how great our bullpen is. We need to score some runs. I mean, that's just the cyclical kind of thing that baseball goes through every year.
And the problem with it, I mean, and your whole career, or a lot of it anyway, was spent doing that job, is there's not usually a lot of room for error, right? I mean, if you're a reliever and you're off, I mean, it's almost do or die in the inning that you're in there. And, Fernandez has been off, Roycroft has been off and trying to figure some things out. Helsley just had one bad game. I don't think we need to worry too much about that. He just didn't have his command on a day. But there are a few other guys that are still kind of like working on things to get right. And that's hard to do when your starters aren't getting the innings to give you rest days to do that.
That's right. And I think at this point, JoJo's doing well. Nathan's doing well. So kind of your A guys are fine. If you're winning the game, that's fine. But the guys to kind of bridge there, they haven't quite kind of figured that out yet. Frankly, what I learned somewhere along the line that's what relieving is. You're going to throw 15 pitches, and I'm sorry, you can't make a mistake. You have 15 pitches, and you're going to be there for 8 hours at the ballpark. You're going to be awake for how many 16 hours that day. Just focus for 15 pitches, and then you're good. And as long as you can't make a mistake, you can't hang a pitch, and you can't throw 3 pitches way wide of the strike zone that aren't even close. I mean, and again, they're not trying to do that, but the point is, relievers have to be very precise and ready to go, and they can't kind of fool around. Our starters sometimes can. They can figure it out over a couple innings, but relievers, you're in and you're out.
It's tough.
So a little bit of existential. Yesterday we did the Sweet 16 of most perfect things, and baseball was on the list. Last night I'm watching the game, and it just made me think, one, I wish I were more talented. I wish I would have been a better athlete or gone into coaching or physical therapy or something. It just seems, and I know that there are downsides to it, but it just seems so wonderful to just be involved with baseball like year round. I mean, it just...
Yeah. So I'll go Nietzsche with you too, since you're going to be existential today, Dave. I kind of like that about you. I mean, sometimes you're a thinker and a philosopher, but I think baseball lends itself to a lot of thinking and a lot of philosophy, because there are times where you get out of bad moments because you just kind of look up at the sky and I'm playing baseball for a living, and what's so bad about this? And I think we have kind of those existential moments up in the booth at times too, because there's the season's a grind, but it's like, hey, what a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's paying me to watch a game and talk about it. I mean, I'd be watching it and talking about it anyway. I mean, so you gotta kind of, everything has its tough moments, but I think when you kind of come to grips with some of the better things about the things that you see on a daily basis, you get through it.
And sometimes you don't appreciate, like, being in my studio is like being at my kitchen table, like you guys. And when someone comes in as a guest and you can see that they're kind of starstruck by the whole thing, that's how I feel 3 or 4 times a year when I come up and see you guys in the booth. It's just magic, man. What you guys do, and the view and everything about it, the smells, it's just friggin' magic.
Yeah, it is, Matt. And in some ways, I think it's magical, even beyond what we do. And I appreciate that. And I love it when you come up, by the way. Keep doing that, Dave, anytime. But I think it can be that kind of experience actually at the ballpark, too. I mean, there's something, it's a different kind of game. It's a thinker's game. You can feel, you can talk, you can, I mean, yes, your team might not win every day, but there's something kind of fun and special and relaxing about being at the ballpark. I mean, we always used to brag about the fact that we didn't have a clock. We can't say that anymore. But we're not really watching that 24/7 during a game. We're not like focused on the clock, but there is one. But when there wasn't one, that made it even more likely that you could just get lost in the game. Which in the midst of whatever issues you deal with in life, sometimes it's good to have that.
Man, I'll tell you, on that same note, like every day there are times, especially when I was at the ballpark every day, you're just walking up and you're like, man, I'm going to work here. This is crazy. Yeah. Like, this is nuts. There are challenges, like for players, it's obviously a difficult task. It's not easy, but the challenge is part of the fun. And for the rest of us that are there to watch it, talk about it, write about it, do whatever. I mean, there are bad days, and there are days you're like, man, this team stinks. But most of the time, you're just like, this is not real.
Yeah, right. And the more that I think baseball, frankly, has kind of had a crisis of confidence over who they are. I mean, over the years, we've said we need to be more like the NBA and the NFL, which, by the way, that's great. That's great entertainment. But that's not baseball.
No.
They can't do what baseball can do. We can't do what they can do, and we shouldn't try. We shouldn't try to be, something we're not. Just enjoy the fact that baseball is a very relaxing thinkers type game.
All right, buddy. Stay warm. Bring home a winner. We appreciate it, Rick.
We'll do our best. Good to chat with you guys.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work. Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, April 8th or Thursday, April 10th at Stone Summit. They believe you can't have a retirement plan without a tax plan. So fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats? Well, the joy of early bedtime. And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 149. Oh, man, I'm having a rough one. We have a couple coming up, Conrad and Eileen, who lost their about 14-year-old son to cancer. And I went out to say hi and just started bawling.
Yeah. I mean, that's not an unusual response.
Yeah. It's just
something like that.
It's the worst thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Really is.
No, there's nothing even close.
And anyone who's a parent, I think about it every day, right? I mean, my kids are happy and healthy, but it's just terrifying.
It is. It's the one thing that most people just don't know how you could get through.
And to see someone get through it, and you're like, how did you do that?
Well, we're
How
pretty
did you-
amazing human beings.
How did you keep breathing?
Yeah.
How did you
Humans
ever
are-
have dinner again?
Humans are pretty amazing, man. You know, we're still around for all these years for a lot of reasons, and a lot of it
Yeah.
is that ability to recover from terrible things.
Yeah. Speaking of mental health, you're rewatching a show that's teaching you lessons about mental health.
Yeah, I really love the show BoJack Horseman. You can watch it on Netflix. And for the longest time, I didn't want to watch it because I was like, that show's stupid. It's just about a horse in a human land because they mix in like animals with humans and they all live together and talk to each other and stuff. But once I did finally start watching it, I was like, oh, this is like one of my favorite shows ever. And it deals with mental health and depression and anxiety and being a bad person sometimes, a lot of the time actually, for the title character. And I was watching it with my boyfriend Kurt, and he was saying like, I don't know about this show, like they're not getting any better. And I was like, that's what makes the show great, is because a lot of times people don't. It's not a linear thing. The process for like cleaning up your mental health or doing better or being a better person is oftentimes messy, and it's just a great reminder.
Yeah.
I recommend that show for if you're looking for something to watch and that topic is of interest to you. It's really good, and it's super funny on top of it. So
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah, I was watching baseball last night, and I was thinking because I am like an amateur philosopher, just how much baseball is like life. That like Rach, you had a great day today.
Yeah, I did.
Some days you're the hero, some days you're the GOAT. Like life,
Mhm.
right?
And you can't be
Crazy.
the hero every day. Like you can't have an amazing
If you are,
day
you're
every day.
faking it.
Yeah, because if you had an amazing day every day, what would those amazing days mean anymore?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It would be routine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it would be great if every day was amazing, right? I mean, like, but you know that the reality never can be that.
Yeah.
So you enjoy the good ones.
Yeah.
And try to minimize the number of bad ones, but also the impact the bad ones have on you. Which is, that's the challenge.
Yeah, sorry to bring the show up again, but it is just such a great reminder of, like Wheels just said, like you have to appreciate the good times, because I think as kids we're kind of taught, and maybe from traditional storytelling we're taught like, and then you reached your goal,
yeah,
and it was happily ever after.
Right. Yeah.
Everything was fixed.
Yeah.
Right.
And real life is just not like that at all. It's a
No.
struggle
I
every day.
remember I was uncomfortably old when it hit me. Like, and I think I was really watching a movie where they rode into the sunset, this couple, and I thought, yeah, but what happened the next day?
Right.
And I just accepted it for all those decades that, oh, well, they were just happy as pigs. And you know what?
It is funny how for so many generations, they kind of made everything childlike.
Yeah.
They infantilized everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, and from this point forward, it's just nothing but rainbows and sunshine. Like,
Right.
what do you teach? What? Maybe that was just the wish,
think-
right?
I
Maybe
think
it was more wishing
I
than
think
anything.
it did great harm, because like in the 50s and 60s and, Father Knows Best and the Brady Bunch, that no one was living those lives. And I think everyone who's reasonable and intelligent and self-aware probably looked at those things and thought, well, I'm a monster.
Yeah. Why is
Or
it
my
so
life
easy
is
for them?
awful. Yeah. Yeah. My spouse is terrible. My kids are monsters, because they just accepted that this is the way everyone else was living.
Yeah. Well, and you didn't, that's maybe that is one of the positives about our interconnectedness, about social media and about seeing all this stuff, is you realize there is nobody that's out there like, oh, this is the perfect life. Because you realize like, no, everybody's got something. There's always a challenge, a difficulty, something is, like it used to
Ironically,
be,
you're as close as I know.
yeah. I mean, but that's also just because I'm weird. Right? That's not because things are quote unquote different for me. It's that I'm different in how I receive it.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you just got some news about your mom.
Yeah. I was a little scared this morning.
Not
but,
a perfect
no,
life.
but now, everything's good now, but they're a little scared this morning.
Yeah.
And, it hits you, but the way it hits me is different than the way it hits other people. And that's not the thing being different.
Is your brother similar?
He's like me. Yeah. The two of us are very much alike. And then our
Stoic.
little sister is the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, my brother and I are more like my mom. And my sister's more like my dad, who's very much going to react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More emotional.
Yeah.
How does that work in the family? You choose sides?
It's fine.
Tell them to stop crying.
No, I mean,
You'll
we're
give them
all
something to cry about.
Look, we're all yellers, so we just yell at each other and it's over. No, I'm dead serious.
You're Irish and what?
A little bit of everything.
Crazy.
English, German. Yeah. Pitbull. Yeah, mostly those.
What do you
Mostly
rate?
those.
Czech?
A little Czech, German, English, I think. Mostly German. I want to get like a 23andMe. Well, it's bankrupt now, so maybe not 23andMe, but Ancestry or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm a little reluctant. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't want to give
I don't
away
know
my
why
DNA.
I'm not. I don't care. I couldn't care less. 3 or 4 places have it, Ancestry and 23andMe. And
yeah, we did that.
What are you going to do?
It's interesting to know, but it's not really changing you.
Yeah.
Unless you got some surprise, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Where'd
is I
that
would be
come from?
searching for necessarily.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
What if your limited inventory had unlimited potential? What if your biggest risk was not taking one? What if you could make every move matter? Bank of America's business solutions can help bring your biggest what ifs within reach. Find out how our digital tools, cutting edge insights, and trusted expertise can work for your business. What would you like the power to do? Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got clouds. It is 49 degrees downtown at the Arch. Correspondent Jennifer Jacobs says President Trump is increasing trade tariffs on China.
Extra tariffs on imported Chinese goods will take effect shortly after midnight Tuesday. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the 104% levies will kick in as promised by President Trump because Beijing did not withdraw its 34% retaliatory tariffs that it announced Friday by the deadline that the president set.
St. Louis County is under investigation for using taxpayer dollars on electioneering. A spokesperson for Secretary of State Denny Hoskins confirms they are looking into whether the county violated the law when sending out mail in opposition of Proposition B and using taxpayer dollars to do so. Last week, KMOX's Sean Malone asked County Executive Sam Page about this mailer.
Is that fair that county taxpayers should pay for a piece of mail going out to potential voters that may lean one way or the other?
It's our obligation to inform the voters of how damaging this will be to St. Louis County government and the services they're used to receiving, especially since the ballot language is so misleading, so phenomenally misleading. So, yeah, it's absolutely fair. It tells the truth. All of those, everything on that is the truth, and the voters need to know it.
Voters will decide on Prop B today. If approved, it gives the county council the power to remove department chiefs with a supermajority vote. Nearly 3 years after the school shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, funding is secured to finish construction of its replacement.
Construction of the new Legacy Elementary School is fully funded thanks to $21 million through a federal program to encourage investment in underserved areas. Construction of the school restarted in August 2024 thanks to a $10 million donation from a foundation originally set up by late Texas Governor Dolph Briscoe Jr., his grandson, the fourth from the construction site.
Do everything we can to help honor both the victims and survivors of the tragedy at Robb Elementary.
The school is expected to be completed by fall. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
Former St. Louis Cardinals reliever Octavio Dotel is confirmed to be amongst those who died at the Dominican Republic nightclub when the roof collapsed. Dotel was initially found alive in the rubble of the club, but died while being transported to the hospital, according to a Dominican newspaper. The KMOX business desk, the number of highway deaths has fallen below the 40,000 mark for the first time since 2020. Jeff Gilbert has more.
Highway deaths fell more than 4% last year to a total of 39,345. The numbers from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. This comes as the number of miles driven has gone up. Highway fatalities have now fallen for 11 consecutive quarters.
The Dow from Steeples down 26 points to 37,939. Emergency vehicles are on 170 going north at I-70. That's got the right shoulder blocked. There's some road work happening on 44 going east at Route AH. That's got the left lane closed there.
Cool temperatures continue through the afternoon, though lots of sunshine. Our temperature's a little cooler than yesterday and certainly below average. 55 for the high. Tonight, more and more clouds take over. All is dry this evening, dry overnight, 41. Wednesday, mainly a dry day, but mostly cloudy skies. Now, there will be scattered showers and thunder showers developing very late in the afternoon on Wednesday, 65 and a little windy. Some scattered showers and thunder showers around Wednesday night and into Thursday. Nothing strong, nothing severe, and rainfall amounts are light. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Siding Express, sidingexpress.com. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie Siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. We've got 50 in St. Peter's, 49 in Florissant, downtown at the Arch, 49, but the feels like is 54. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS. You see, if you're watching, I'm wearing a new hat. To give a couple of these away. Torchlight Parade is the band is going to be playing at a St. Baldrick's Foundation fundraiser. We have Conrad and Eileen here. I apologize for meeting you and bawling. I'm Scottish, and I just wear my emotions on my sleeves. So I'll get through this. So tell us about Brett. Tell us your story, and tell us what you have coming up and how people can help. So I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you guys talk through it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us on your
So
show.
welcome.
Brett was a perfectly healthy 11-year-old boy. He was at the end of 5th grade. He went to St. Mark's Catholic School in South County, and he suddenly, it was near his 11th birthday, which is the end of May, he started having headaches, really bad headaches. And every once in a while he would, get sick. He would vomit. And we went to the doctor 3 separate times, and they told us it was a virus. So each time we'd go, and they would do all kinds of, their tests or whatever they do at the doctor's office. And they would say, we think it's a virus. And then finally, on the last time we went, they said, we'll send you to a specialist, a neurological specialist. So we went there, and he thought he could see something in the back of, just looking in his eyes, but he wasn't sure. And they didn't really want to do an MRI, but then the symptoms escalated, and finally we had an MRI, and it revealed he had a golf ball sized tumor in the middle of his head, which is his thalamus. And unfortunately, it couldn't be removed with regular surgeries. So that whole summer we had a surgery to relieve the headaches, which was, I forgot what they called it.
It was a new procedure that had been developed in the previous few months, where our neurosurgeon had learned how to perform the surgery in Africa, actually. So he was able to avoid putting a shunt into Brett's brain. And with this new procedure, he relieved the pressure on his brain that was caused by the cerebral spinal fluid that was causing the headache. So that's how we learned about the tumor. So he had that first surgery to relieve the pressure. The headaches went away, and we started a regimen of chemotherapy and radiation.
And he returned to school in the fall, going to radiation every day for a couple weeks. He didn't ever miss school. And then we thought we were okay for a while. And then this tumor started to grow again. So he had one of 3, he had 3 laser surgeries altogether, where they burned the tumor instead of doing a regular surgery with like cutting, and they use a laser to ablate the tumor cells. So he had that done. Each surgery cost him use of his right arm. He could use it, but he couldn't button, or he couldn't write anymore with it. The second surgery cost him his right leg. He couldn't walk right anymore. He had to use a brace. And the third surgery, of course, took his speech. So he couldn't really communicate too well. He could say a couple words. We knew what he was communicating, but he couldn't go into long paragraphs. And that was, at that point, that was his 8th grade year and his graduation from grade school. And then he started Bishop DeBerg High School that fall, and everyone was so good to him, although his communication, of course, wasn't as good. He could talk, but
was he all there? Could he think? Did he know what was?
Yeah, he could think.
And how did he do with it?
He loved school. He did really well in school.
Wow.
Well, Brett was very religious, so he relied on his faith a lot, and his make-a-wish was to be a priest. So that was the make-a-wish for a day. I told him, Brett, you sure about that? You sure you don't want to go to Hawaii or something?
Yeah.
But no, He said they asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said, "I want to be a priest." So the Make-A-Wish girls, they were so good to him, and they, the Archbishop arranged for him to be at the Chrism Mass and be a server, but they dressed him kind of like a priest, and he got kind of the, gist of it. But that was very exciting for him. He absolutely loved it. And so I think he relied a lot on his faith. And of course, we never really kind of told him that, like, we always kept positive. Like, we're trying to do this so that, there'll be another trial and we don't know what'll happen.
Yeah.
We never told him really that he was going to pass away, but
Yeah.
he knew at the end, but yeah, that's what he relied on, his faith, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask him, he would tell you he was just fine. I think as far as he was concerned, there was nothing wrong. He fought through it,
Mhm.
and he fought, and especially at the beginning, just to look at him, you wouldn't know anything was wrong. It was hard to believe that this kid that you were looking at had brain cancer. I would often think that. We often thought in the beginning that maybe there's a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not right. Maybe the MRI imaging was wrong and it wasn't something aggressive. But as time went on, as Eileen mentioned, because of the treatment, he had more and more deficits that took their toll on him. But he got up every day, insisted on going to school. And again, if you asked him if anything was wrong, he would say no.
What a kid. And you have 4 other children?
We have 3 other
kids, children.
Yes.
And I told you guys, it shows you how selfish I am. I've never had that thought that you have to tell your kids, you have to be there for their grief.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
It's very hard.
How-
Very
how-
hard because
Other
their
than
ages
faith, how
at
do
the
you
time.
navigate that?
Yeah, at the time, like, my oldest was 18 months older than him. So Brett passed away at 14 and a half, and Olivia was like 16. So that age is hard anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with this on top of it, and then Andrew was like 8 or 9, and then Ella was like 5 or 6. So it's really, for them, it's really hard, especially the little ones, coming. Ella wasn't there when he passed, but like coming back and like not being there,
Yeah.
it's really, and then we're grieving at the same time. So it's hard for us to explain everything. And then it's just a really difficult time.
You forget about your other kids in a way
Yeah.
because they're pretending like everything's okay. They're still trying to hang out with their friends. And frankly, we never had a conversation with the family as a whole to discuss Brett's illness. So sometimes I wonder if the younger ones were shocked by his passing because they were so young. You couldn't really have a conversation with them about a terminal illness.
Yeah.
Right.
The older one, Olivia, she was a teenager, so she did some research online and realized how devastating this disease was and what her brother was facing.
I know it's an aggressive form. Is it rare?
Relatively rare. It's one of the more common of the solid tumors that children will develop. It's similar to a grade 4 glioblastoma that's been in the news for the past few years with Senator Kennedy, Senator McCain, Beau Biden, the president's son. They all passed away from a glioblastoma. That's a grade 4 brain tumor. Brett's was a grade 3. Still very aggressive though.
And it
One
couldn't
grade,
progress.
one grade lower, but it was still very aggressive and took on some of the same characteristics as a grade 4 in terms of the aggressiveness.
How long did it take you guys to begin trying to turn this into something helpful the way you're doing now?
Well, the first year we were so overwhelmed with treatment, keeping doctor's appointments, juggling life, caring for the other kids, pretending like everything was okay, just trying to live a normal life. We didn't have an opportunity to look into opportunities to help other people and to help fund research. We were worried about administering the chemo and going to radiation. In 2015, a group of Brett's friends and their parents formed a head shaving team with the St. Baldrick's Foundation, which we had never heard of prior to that.
Can you tell people about it if they've not heard of it? Like what it is, basically?
Sure. Yeah. The St. Baldrick's Foundation is a volunteer and donor powered charity committed to supporting the most promising research for pediatric cancer. It's a wonderful charity. It's the largest private funder of childhood cancer research grants in the world. No one gives more money to pediatric cancer research grants outside of the National Cancer Institute. So it's a wonderful charity that funds projects all across the country, including here in St. Louis. And we decided that we needed to be involved with this charity so we could raise money and raise awareness and funding for childhood cancer research.
And what are you guys doing now? What's the upcoming event that you're having?
Well, it's the 5th annual Rock for Brett Concert for a Cause, benefiting childhood cancer research. All the funds we raise from our event go to the St. Baldrick's Foundation. It's a concert event. It's going to be a wonderful event with 4 different acts. We got JoJo Mattia coming in. She's a performer from Arizona, wonderful voice and a beautiful young lady. We have Aragon, a group of teen musicians from St. Louis. They were finalists in this year's St. Louis Teen Talent Competition at the Fox Theater.
Nice.
Incredible group of kids, wonderful musicians. We have the Nightmare and Alice Cooper Experience, who puts on a great show.
There you go, Wheels.
There we go. I'm in.
And then the headliners, Torchlight Parade, the Engel brothers, Doug and Matt Engel. And they put this band together years ago. And in 2021, when the Helen Fitzgerald's head shaving event went virtual, the guys from Torchlight Parade, Matt and Doug, approached me and said, we're having a party we're playing at. We've already talked to the host of the party. He wants to open his home to our concert to make it a charity event. And we want all the proceeds to go to the St. Baldrick's Foundation. And then it grew from there.
Very cool. Do you see the CD over there, Wheels? It's right up your alley.
I'll take this. Oh, there you go.
Right?
There we go. That's the right image.
That's a Wheeler band.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing that. I'm going to Google it.
Very nice. Any advice you can give either to parents like me who have not experienced this but fear it, or parents who are currently going through it?
Well, be an advocate for your child. If you've got any concerns at all, don't be shy about bringing those concerns to your pediatrician. And if trust your instincts, trust your gut, insist on the additional test. If you think an MRI is in order, sit down and talk with your doctor about that. I think Eileen would agree with that.
Yes. We always thought, that can't happen to us because we are so just a normal family, and it just all of a sudden happened. And I mean, the doctors, they don't know everything. So you kind of have to advocate for if you know that something's just not right.
Yeah.
And for parents going through it right now, I would suggest to them to do the same thing that Eileen did that first summer. Get second opinions. Don't be shy about calling hospitals across the country, which is what she did. She was on the phone, online, every day, reaching out to oncologists, some of the best institutions in the country. And it turned out the best care was right here in St. Louis at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Brett had gifted oncologists, brilliant neurosurgeons. He actually had 2 neurosurgeons. They're geniuses. And the surgeries that she was describing earlier, they're called LIT procedures. And they left Brett with deficits, but without those procedures, we wouldn't have had him as long.
Right. Yeah.
So just know, I would tell any parent out there going through this, especially in the early stages, there's research going on right now that will find if not a cure in the next few years, at least a better treatment. And there are gifted doctors out there working right now on a cure or a better treatment. So don't give up hope, and be an advocate for your child.
So if people want to be a part of this, go to the concert or donate something, how do they do it?
You can go to the St. Baldrick's Foundation website, stbaldricks.org, and go into the search bar and search for Rock for Brett. It's got information about the event. It's got a donate button, which you can donate to the Rock for Brett Concert for a Cause. Again, all the money we raise goes to the St. Baldrick's Foundation, a 501c3 charity. Anyone in the area who is on Facebook and reach out to us through Rosaries for Brett, that's on Facebook. Express your interest in coming to the show. We'll write your name down as a special guest, or we can mail you a ticket. We've got some tickets left, and there are tickets available at the door too. So if you're not able to get a ticket in advance, but you realize at the last minute that you do want to come to the show and help support this event, you can come to the show and get a ticket at the door and come in.
Anything else you want to get out there? Anything you want to say to people?
I just want to say that St. Baldrick's Foundation is an excellent charity, and it fills in the money needed to raise for childhood cancer research, because the government only gives for over 126 different kinds of childhood cancers. We just get, I think, 4% of the national money for research.
Yeah.
So for all those different childhood cancers, that's all they get. And the childhood cancers are differently treated than adult cancers. So an adult brain tumor and a child brain tumor are different things. So that's why it's so important to raise money with these different charities that can give money towards childhood cancer research, like St. Baldrick's.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
for
so
sharing.
much for having us. We appreciate it.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
So let me just bottom line this live endorsement for the Gelman team. There are a gazillion realtors out there, and I will never crap on people so that you will hire my guys. Nick has his real estate license. A lot of my friends have their real estate license. Sue Thomas has a real estate license, and I'm sure they would do a great job. The Gelmans are just like, the team is the thing. Mark and Neil are fantastic on their own. Matt Lamb, who's done all my stuff, is great. Can't say enough nice things about Matt. He's really helped me out. But it's the team, it's the resources, it's the information. I always tell the story that one of the only trials that I got my ass kicked in was from a guy that he was such a dork and such a nerd and such a wormy looking little guy. And I just walked in there with a bunch of swagger, and he just mopped the floor with me because he had the facts. He had the cases. He had the prep. He had the resources that I didn't have or wasn't willing to put forth. And that's the way the Gelmans are. They're going to outmaneuver. They're going to negotiate. They're going to be very honest with you. The communication is always open. Don't think that they're going to expect you to sign on the dotted line the first time you meet them. Make them sell you on them. If you want to find out what your home is worth right now, go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com. Call 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
Community America Credit Union has a new branch in Hazelwood. Join me, Amy Markscores, special Cardinals alumni, and Fred Bird on April 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the grand opening. There'll be exciting prizes and delicious food. See you there.
This is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial, retiresafestl.com. Retirement security means a peace of mind, knowing you have the freedom to live the life of your dreams and to wake up each day without financial stress. Let us simplify your retirement today. retiresafestl.com.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
Hi, I'm Amy Markscores.
And I'm Chris Ranji. Look, we get it. The world seems insane right now. You're not alone.
Ranj and I are on different sides of the political spectrum, but we don't always talk politics anyway.
Yeah, we talk about what's going on in the world. We'll talk about the Cardinals and sports and TV and movies and whatever.
Life is more than politics. It's family and friends. And Chris and I were friends before this show. We're there for each other. We want to be here for you too.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
All right, guys. Well, mercifully, we only have about 30 seconds here in this break after meeting Conrad and Eileen. Incredible people, incredible family.
Yes.
Just so impressive, so
Yes.
strong.
And if you would like to attend their events for St. Baldrick's, we have a link up on the Dave Glover Show
Good.
Facebook page right now.
I think
So
we're all going to go as a show
it'd
if
be
we all
very
have
fun.
that day.
Sounds like it's open.
Yeah, let's do it.
And you listen to the band.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Sounded good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy Sports. So here's what makes this so fun. I have been, making my choices. And here's the basics. Like, for example, the Cardinals are playing tonight. And it says Paul Skeens will have 6.5 strikeouts, which means if you think he's going to have 7 or more, then you say higher. If you think he's going to have 6 or fewer, then you say lower. And like Nolan Arenado will hit 0.5 home runs. So that means he has to hit a home run. And normally I would say higher, but he's facing Paul Skeens. That's where the skill comes in. And but maybe you're just a big believer in Arenado and you say, no, he's going to do it. He's going to hit 1. He might even hit 2. And then you get a couple players, maybe 3 players. The more out there you get, the more the multiplier is and the more you can win. And so far I've been fortunate and lucky and I've been doing well and winning some money there. So if you want to have some fun with sports and maybe make some money, download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code Glover to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's promo code Glover. You must be 18 and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates, which Missouri is. If you're concerned about your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now it's time to check in with Dave Murray's weather forecast.
Cool temperatures continue through the afternoon, though with lots of sunshine. Our temperature's a little cooler than yesterday and certainly below average. 55 for the high. Tonight, more and more clouds take over. All is dry this evening, dry overnight, 41. Wednesday, mainly a dry day, but mostly cloudy skies. Now, there will be scattered showers and thunder showers developing very late in the afternoon on Wednesday, 65 and a little windy. Some scattered showers and thunder showers around Wednesday night and into Thursday. Nothing strong, nothing severe, and rainfall amounts are light. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER. The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates,
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. You know what I was thinking about politically? See if you guys pick up the vibe. If you understand what I'm saying, if you agree or disagree. And this is not coming from like a PhD in political science, right? It seems to me that for the past 25 years, since I've been on the air, it's about the time it started. Could be that that's just the time that I woke up or the time that I grew up and I started noticing things like that because I didn't care much about politics before then. I had no skin in the game. Wasn't a big deal. But it seems to me that everyone is trying too hard. They're trying too hard to engineer something that I don't believe can or should be engineered. Stop trying to force people to be religious. Stop trying to force people to be non-religious. Stop trying to force people to be gay or not gay or conservative or liberal. You can't force. It's like trying to push a beach ball down in a pool. You can't hold it down forever. It's going to pop up. Americans still have a strong independent streak. We are no longer even close to being monolithic. Women have a much different role than they used to. People of color have a much different role. LGBTQ people have a much different role. The horse is out of the barn. Stop trying to force your social engineering, whether it's right wing or left wing, and just fill the damn potholes, whether it's in St. Louis or it's nationally. That's what I think. How does that hit you? Am I being Pollyannish?
Nails. I mean, like, look, people can advocate for things that they want to do, right? You can participate in groups, religious groups, social groups, whatever it is, to put out whatever message you want, right? It's okay. It's okay for people to be people.
Yes.
The government people should be doing government stuff.
Yes.
They should be, again, I always, this is why I don't like elevating people. I don't like Mr. Senator or Mr. President. No, you have a name. I'm going to call you by your name. You just have a job where you work for me. I don't know why we need to elevate them, because that's what leads to this stuff. If you're just, this is your job. Your job is to go pass laws to make the people that you represent better. Period. The end. That's the job. Now, are you going to be able to make it better for everyone 100% of the time? No. But you can do the things and spend your time on the things that will benefit the most people. And the social stuff is not going to benefit the most people. The culture wars is not going to benefit the most people.
It's just what get people elected.
But this is what exactly, because that puts you in your position of power. And what it is a nonstop 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, 52-week a year campaign. You're always just trying to make sure people remember to vote for you. That's how it looks to people like me. I see all of this, and I see that's entirely what you do. Instead of spending the time, and this, again, not 100% blanket statement, every person in D.C., every person in Jeff City, every individual is an individual. They're different. But what we see too much of is the demagoguing and the ideologue stuff, and you're going to play to your base, but you represent people that aren't in your base too.
About half.
You should have a duty in your mind, just like somebody who signs up to serve in the United States military. They have a duty to do what they're told to do, to follow the law, to protect the United States, to protect their fellow citizens. What they signed up for is that duty. They don't decide, I'm not going to do this for these people or for those people. Their job is to do what they're ordered to do by the people that have put them in positions of power, right? Yeah. We need to run more along those lines, but there's no money in that. There's no staying power in that. So why in the world, you're not incentivized to do that. You're incentivized to do the opposite. You're incentivized to please only the people that are going to vote for you, so they keep voting for you.
Yeah.
And forget the other people. They don't matter.
Yeah. I am personally a non-religious person, but if the government ever came for your church, I'll stand with you.
100%. I'll stand in front of it before the bulldozer gets there. Absolutely. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's a religious group that's being attacked by the government or if it's an LGBTQ plus group that's being, it's the same thing. And we don't have the ability often enough. And again, it's our fault, guys. I mean, like, we don't require it of our leaders. Mm-hmm. We don't expect it of them. And we care. We're only happy if they're doing what we want them to do for us. And unfortunately, we've lost a lot of that. America, we take care of each other. Like, we look out for each other. You don't mess with us. We don't look out for each other unless somebody from the outside attacks us. And then maybe we will.
Maybe.
For a period of time. But then we get back into our same old tribal petty nonsense, because all anybody seems to care about is whether or not they benefit. But when I look at the actions of the federal government, I don't care just about how it affects me. I care about how it affects everyone. If I benefit but 10 other people hurt, I'm not okay with that. But most people are. Most people are like, it's fine. Hey, if I win, I benefit. I don't care what happens to people that don't agree with me. And I don't get that, and I don't understand it. And it's certainly, if you're a person that comes from a religious point of view, Christian point of view, that's not a very Christian attitude. And since we're a majority Christian country, I think that there maybe should be a review of how we interplay politics and religion. Because your book says one thing and your politics sometimes say another thing.
Well said. Rach, thoughts?
I'm just wondering if you guys think that culture at this point is okay. Do politics reflect culture, or at this point, does culture reflect politics? Like,
I
are
think
the
the second.
politicians driving the culture at this
Yes,
point?
I think the second.
And I think the only way that that can change is, like Wheel said, like, we have elected these people. We have shown the people in power that this is what we want with our votes.
Yeah.
So the only way to change is for us to be better and to stop being so swayed. The reason why the culture wars thing works is because that's what you get emotional about. You get emotional about your identity. It's a lot easier to be like, I disagree with you about who exactly should be filling those potholes. That's a different situation than like your religion, your sexuality, what have you.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of rise above. I'm not saying like, oh, become a zombie and like stop caring. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying we have to be smarter about what we let play on our emotions.
So today's election day in the city, right?
Yeah.
And we've all lived through this over the past few months and years. And I think it was Michael Kelly, this first person who I remember saying that in the city race, that they need to stop with all the highfalutin reparations and social equity and just fill the potholes. And I more and more, since Mike said that, feel the same way about the federal.
Yes.
That they need to worry about the federal national potholes and stop worrying about what people do in their bedrooms and what people do in their churches or not.
Yeah. And stop giving yourself exemptions. Stop making yourself exempt from the rest of the rules the rest of us end up dealing with. You know, why is it okay for you guys to trade on insider information, but if somebody else outside of the political world does it, they go to jail? You guys are getting information just by the fact that you're working with lobbyists and writing laws. You know things that are coming down the track, and yet it's all us because we care more about winning our fight against our neighbor than we do about winning for everybody. Because what we should be doing is looking out for each other and not trying to tell the people that we disagree with. And again, I don't care if you consider yourself liberal or conservative, doesn't matter. It's the same point. You can't, if you're constantly just looking to win, all you're ever going to do is fight. It is all you're ever going to do. And that's what politics is. It's a fight. A fight that can't be won.
So why do we know this? Just a bunch of rodeo clowns on a radio show, and they don't seem to get it in Jeff City, Springfield, and Washington. Or is it that we don't understand?
Oh, I think they get it. I think they're just playing the game that's
don't care.
working right now. And I'm not sitting here saying like the four of us are smarter than everyone
No.
else. No, it's just we focus on this because we take in the news and politics and stuff for our job. It's a part of our everyday life. I think the average person is just going to work, you know, taking care of their family, paying bills. They might watch the nightly news. They
Which
might
is
not.
all they should have to worry about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life. We're losing our lives. We're losing the quality of our lives, I think, because, and I apologize in advance for saying this again, but people younger than Rach and Andrew don't remember when life wasn't like this. People like you and I do. We remember when you just lived your life and that was it.
And that was pretty much every generation that came before us, too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not so much in the 60s.
Had their own challenges.
No, I mean, like the 60s, you had upheaval. You know, you had the counterculture. You had a little bit of a mini revolution going on in terms of ideas and how government should be. But I don't know that it was as daily and contentious, like interpersonally, as it is now, where people will, I mean, like just as an example, right? For a long time, one group of people would abuse people that owned electric cars, whether they were Teslas or others, calling them all kinds of names because you're clearly one of those lefties. And now the opposite's happening. Now people are attacking Teslas because they're saying it makes you a Nazi, you're a fascist. So each side has found a reason to attack the same thing. And it changed in what, a year? A year, one group of people went from mocking anybody who was soft enough to not drive a big old truck and use gas. They're gonna mock you because you get your funny little electric car. And now the opposite's happening. Now the people that wanted to save the environment now they're the ones that are torching Teslas.
Well, also, I don't know what you think's going to happen. No one's going to win.
No, there is no win.
You're not going to, for example, make people stop being gay. You're not. And you shouldn't, but even if you should, you're not. Adult alert here. Did you guys see the new law in Texas they're trying to pass? They're trying to legislate masturbation, that you have to show an ID before you buy a sex toy because it's immoral and against the Bible.
I got a feeling the Bible doesn't have any words about sex toys.
Why don't you give that up? There's my advice.
Well,
You're not going to win that battle. You're wasting your time. You look stupid.
No, and considering, too, that just the hypocrisy, this is one of the things that has pushed me away from organizations, is the hypocrisy of religious leaders. How many of them do we have to catch in scandals doing all the things they condemn everybody else around them for doing? Whether it's affairs or, I mean, a lot of it's old, right? It's old school, but I mean, popes had kids, like dozens of them. And some of those popes had their kids and their kids became cardinals. And like, you're not even supposed to have kids. You're not supposed to get married. You're not supposed to do any of that. Yet you got kids that are in the papal guard and that are like, it's the hypocrisy of people always trying to and again, it's not just the religious side. That's one side of it. It's just the historical example that you can come up with a real human beings. Go Google the I forget his pope name, but the Borgias, Borgia. Go look at the Borgia Pope and what his life was and his mistress and the children that he had from that mistress. Again, all while being a cardinal and a pope. That's not to say that it's all that. It's certainly not all that. It's not every religious person. But when you look at the leaders of those groups of people and how often those scandals have come along, is it 100%? No way. It's probably 1%. It might be 3%. It's a small percentage, but it's still the same point. You're policing other people, but the people in your group have some of those same issues too.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say, like, there was a commercial a few years ago where people's credit scores were above their head and they're just walking down the street. You can see, I got a 790, I got a 580.
Right.
And I thought if everyone's sins were listed up there and everyone could see, no one would say anything. No one would judge anyone else.
No, because
if
everybody's
we could
got
know
something.
what's going on. And it just seems to me that we're just judging each other based on the fact that the other guy sins differently than you. Your sin is terrible. Mine is understandable. That's the way it feels.
There's also a lot of arrogance in the belief that you're right. No, my way's right. Everyone else is wrong. The Buddhists are wrong. The Muslims are wrong. The atheists are wrong. Or if you're in the other groups, the Christians are wrong. Like, everybody believing that they're right, whether you're an atheist or a religious person, because atheists are that way too. They're convinced you're right. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You
So
don't
there's an arrogance involved in knowing you're right.
Yeah. Monsignor Ted said one of the smartest things ever been said on the show. He said that certitude is the polar opposite of faith. It's the opposite of faith.
I mean,
it's not an article of, it's the opposite of faith.
He's right.
Lombardo Rach.
Yeah, Lombardo Homes this Saturday, April 12th from noon to 4 p.m. They're having a citywide Easter scavenger hunt at any Lombardo display home in St. Charles and mid-Missouri. So you want to go start your hunt, search for hidden items, and earn entries for a grand prize, which is $1,000 in Visa gift cards. Plus, you can snap a selfie with the Easter Bunny at Cottleville Trails from 1 to 4. Dogs are welcome too, so don't miss it. They have golden eggs, bonus prizes, and a whole lot of festive fun. Find your starting point at lombardohomes.com.
Whether it's an Easter egg hunt or it's a home showing or a spec home or building your home or handling issues or whatever it happens to be, if you have any faith in me, if you have any trust in me, just know that I have complete faith and complete trust in Lombardo. They are a wonderful group of people and they're going to treat you like gold. lombardohomes.com.
Make reservations for the 2025 Women of Achievement Luncheon, presented by KMOX. This award luncheon takes place Tuesday, May 13th at the Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis, and celebrates 10 outstanding volunteers from across the St. Louis metropolitan region. Doors open at 11:15. The luncheon runs until 1:30. Reservations are $60 per person. Sign up and find more details now at KMOX.com/events.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Are you ready to rock? Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace are coming to Thunder Ridge Nature Arena in Ridgedale, Missouri on August 29th, and we have your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the show. Register now at KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win. It's that simple. You won't want to miss this. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Experienced, trusted, honest. Comptroller Darlene Green showed up for us. Re-elect Darlene Green. She showed up to protect the airport from being privatized. She showed up and saved 3,000 NGA jobs. She showed up and the city earned a AA credit rating. Darlene Green showed up for employee raises, workers' rights, and women's rights. Vote Tuesday, April 8th. Darlene Green for Comptroller, because it's your money.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, Don Nix, Treasurer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 252. Can you redo that little thing? That was really good.
What's that?
The Kevin Sorbo thing.
I don't know why, but somebody retweeted an older tweet from Kevin Sorbo, who obviously is famous for being a conservative who's from been in Hollywood, and he said he tweeted that he didn't get blacklisted from Hollywood. He left because they're all pedos. But I'm like, no, you didn't get blacklisted. You just suck. Like, there are a lot of people who share your politics who are still very successful in Hollywood, like John Voight, like Clint Eastwood. They never got blacklisted. You know why? Because they're good.
They're good actors.
You're not the fake Hercules on a CW TV show, and you're not Chachi from Happy Days. Like the people that are talented are working.
It's well said.
And the people that are not, and I don't know. I just find this whole thing, it feels like a lot of cope.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't make it. It's not because I wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's because people don't like my
all
politics.
those pedophiles in Hollywood.
Right. I mean, again, I'm sure there are terrible people. There are terrible people in all kinds of industries. We know the stories that have come out about the executives and the way they've treated actors and child actors, for God's sake. Like, there's terrible stuff there. That's not in dispute.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people that are talented, they tend to stick around, regardless of what their view of the world is.
Robert Walsh says, Dave, you got 3 pages of heavy thoughts you're sharing with us today. What are we going to do for the rest of the week? You're on your own, Bob. This is it. I'm shooting the old lay wad. So this is all I got for the week. Andrew, what do you got? You had pizza. Did you already share that with us? You had pizza in a different way?
I had some unique pizza.
What'd you have?
Well, I had the Little Caesars pretzel crust.
Hate to brag.
I've had that
With
before.
it's stuffed pretzel crust.
Okay.
And so when I ordered it, it asked me, do you want so you want the stuffed pretzel crust, and do you want pizza sauce or cheese? And I was like, well, I don't want crust stuffed with pizza sauce. That sounds disgusting. So I ordered the cheese. What it actually is it was, instead of pizza sauce on the actual pizza, it was like yellow cheese.
Like from a pretzel.
Yeah, kind of like a pretzel
mean like
cheese, like a beer cheese.
runny
almost.
cheese?
Yeah, like
Okay.
Yeah, like cheese
it wasn't,
sauce.
it
like
wasn't
goes
like
with
super
pretzels.
runny, but
So
yeah,
it's
like
just
a
a big
pretzel
pretzel.
cheese. So it was a big pretzel with more cheese and pepperonis on it.
And
It was awesome.
Yeah, do you guys
It's really super good.
do you two remember back at 97.1 we were just like talking about Little Caesars one time?
do I
and
remember.
I think it was a Little Caesars manager in Fenton.
Mhm.
I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. And I had his business card for forever.
Damn
I lost it. But he delivered us all pizzas, and one of them was the soft pretzel pizza, and it was delish.
Well, if you're listening and you'd like to prove that you were from Fenton or not,
Yeah, give us a call.
Remember, he brought us all our favorite pizza.
Yeah.
Because we went through and said, like, this is my favorite
Yeah,
pizza.
and I don't think I said mine, and he brought me the soft pretzel one as a surprise, and it was so good.
What would yours have been?
Oh, my ultimate pizza is probably. I used to never like meats on my pizza, and now I like my current favorite pizza is a pepperoni and black olive. Yeah,
Stupid COVID ruined pepperoni for me.
Too salty.
Too salty. Yeah. So I've switched to sausage, but I like like a ball of sausage. That makes
Okay.
sense.
I like a crumbly sausage myself.
Do painful joints prevent you from enjoying an active life? Blue Tail Medical Group can help without the expense and risk of surgery. Regenerative treatments can help patients with age-related wear, arthritis, or injuries by encouraging the return of soft, healthy tissue between your joints. Our doctors offer a natural path to reduce joint pain without surgery, drug dependence, or long recovery times. See nationally recognized specialists right here in Missouri at BlueTailMedicalGroup.com. That's BlueTailMedicalGroup.com.
When we started Neovite back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovite Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovite Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovite.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
James talks about his experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
My wife and I had been talking for several years about getting our kitchen and bathroom remodeled. We'd had some bids actually been made. The thing that always put us off was that they were talking about 2 or 3 months to get all this work done. We heard about 3-Day Bath and Kitchen. We thought that we'd give it a try. They spent 3 days on one of our items and 4 days on another, and the cost was about the same thing as all the people gave us 3-month estimates for. They went out of their way to make sure that we were satisfied with everything when the job was finished. There's simply no question about the idea that they want satisfied customers and they want people who are pleased with their work.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, we've got sunshine. It is 50 degrees downtown at the Arch. Missouri Secretary of State Denny Hoskins is looking into whether St. Louis County improperly spent taxpayer money for a political campaign.
Last week, KMOX told you how the county paid for a piece of mail opposing Proposition B that was sent to county voters. Now, spokesperson for Hoskins confirms an investigation is ongoing into that mail. The mail only listed groups who opposed Proposition B and included quotes from a judge critical of the ballot measure, whose ruling has since been overturned. If Secretary Hoskins finds probable cause, his spokesperson said they will refer the case to the county prosecuting attorney's office. Proposition B, if approved by voters, would empower the county council to be able to remove department heads. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Former St. Louis Cardinals reliever Octavio Dotel is confirmed to be amongst those who've died at the Dominican Republic nightclub when the roof collapsed. Dotel, a longtime journeyman pitcher, played for 13 teams in his career, including the Cardinals, in their 2011 World Series championship season. President Trump's trade tariffs continue to send economic shockwaves across the globe.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says additional tariffs of 50% against China are non-negotiable.
They will be going into effect at 12:01 a.m. tonight, so effectively tomorrow.
That means overall tariffs against China will rise to 104%, since China says it will retaliate. At the same time, President Trump believes China wants to talk.
If China reaches out to make a deal, he'll be incredibly gracious, but he's going to do what's best for the American people.
Adding countries are, quote, falling over themselves to work out deals as well. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
I'm Matt Piper. Canada says it will start imposing a 25% tariff on certain U.S. auto imports beginning tonight at 12:01 a.m. The retaliatory measure is in response to President Trump's levies on foreign-made cars and trucks. Canada's finance minister says in a statement, Canada continues to respond forcefully to all unwarranted and unreasonable tariffs. Canadian officials say the tariffs will apply to about 10% of all vehicles shipped from the U.S.
Jason Brooks reports small businesses are navigating a sea of uncertainty as the tariffs impact them.
The National Federation of Independent Business Optimism Index declined in March from the previous month to a reading just below the 51-year average, with a survey showing small business owners scaling back expectations on sales growth as new policy priorities have heightened the level of uncertainty over the past few months. An increasing percentage of small business owners cited taxes as their single most important problem, the highest level since November 2021. 30% of small business owners say they plan price hikes, the highest reading in a year.
The KMOX Business Desk, how does the president of the Missouri Realtors Association see the current housing situation in the Show Me State?
Improving. We are seeing additional inventory come on the market that we are so desperately needing, and we're seeing interest rates come down, which is still leading to the supply issues we have or the demand issues we have, but we do see an improving market this year.
Bobby House says supply is still a problem because not enough homes are being built. Those who bought when interest rates were very low don't want to sell, and baby boomers are hanging on to their big homes, which leaves few options for younger families with kids. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now. To Stifel we go. Good afternoon, Scott Bedell.
Good afternoon, Michael. Hello, everyone. After an explosive opening to the upside where almost all indices were up 4% or more, the remainder of the day was devoted to profit taking. At the 3 p.m. close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had tumbled 320 points or 0.8% at 37,645. The Standard & Poor's 500 index lost 1.5% at 4,982, while the NASDAQ Composite Index, the worst performing index, tumbled a little bit more than 2% at 15,267. Closer to home, the Bloomberg St. Louis stock index fell 2.4% to just shy of 1,300. Only a couple companies on the upside in St. Louis today. Centene up 1 3/4 at $62.40. The current administration is expected to sign some favorable executive orders on coal today, helping Peabody Energy up 9 1/4% at $11.26. On the downside, Olin fell 6 1/4% at $17.96. Caleres down 7 3/4% at $14.77, and Stifel Financial dropped 2.5% to $76.49. From Stifel Financial, this has been Scott Fidel. Stifel is a member of SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, please visit our website at stifel.com.
We've got emergency vehicles on 70 going westbound at Zumble. That's got the right shoulder closed. Stalled vehicle 270 going south at Gravois. That's on the right shoulder. Stalled vehicle 6440 going west at McKnight. That's on the right shoulder. They've just cleared out some debris on 70 west at Riverview. And we've got Hampton Avenue closed in both directions between Filer and Arsenal because of a serious accident. And there is a backup, according to police, in both directions in that area. Hampton from Filer to Arsenal.
All about sunshine on this Tuesday afternoon. Cool temperatures were about 5-6 degrees cooler than yesterday, 55 for the high, but a pretty day. Then tonight, more and more clouds move in, but the evening is dry. We're dry overnight, 41. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a couple of scattered showers and thunder showers late in the day on Wednesday. Wednesday, basically a dry day, a windy 65. Scattered showers and thunder showers around Wednesday night and into Thursday, 67 on Thursday. This is not a severe weather outbreak. This is not a heavy rainmaker, just some kind of typical April showers, and we're okay with that. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
And right now, downtown at the Arch, we've got some sun. It's 50 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Volley. Volley. Level up game night with Volley, the smart TV app for playing games like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, or test your knowledge with fun music quizzes and party games. Turn your TV into the ultimate game hub with the Volley app on your Roku or Fire TV. Download it and play today. Volley.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. So being an opportunist, I see Matt Pauley in there talking to Andrew, and I'm thinking, I don't have to do a segment. So I grabbed him, drug his ass in here. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
No, I always like coming in here.
Kevin, tell us about the sad news about the former Cardinal.
Yeah, did you guys see this? So earlier today, there was a report of an accident that at an event that Octavio Dotel was at. And that he had been pulled from the rubble. Apparently, the roof of a nightclub collapsed.
Have you seen the video of it?
I've not seen the video.
It's crazy.
I saw a couple of the pictures.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
And the report earlier in the day was that he was kind of rescued by being pulled out of the rubble. Dotel was, but now the reports are that he died on his way to the hospital. So 51. So he was part of the 2011 team. He was one of the guys they brought in at the trade deadline that year, when they kind of remade the bullpen and they remade the roster a little bit, which is all why they were able to make the run to win the World Series.
Very highly thought of.
Great dude.
Yeah.
Funny, like great clubhouse guy. Yeah.
Like in Cardinals lore, when you talk about those teams and, the unsung heroes of the teams, his name comes up all the time.
And a good pitcher too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for a period of time was a closer in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And at that time was more of a setup guy, but a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy and Chris were interviewing someone a couple days ago, maybe just yesterday. And remember the bit that Amy was doing about David Freese, about whether he was red jacket worthy, because while he had great moments, some of the most memorable moments, maybe he didn't have the overall impact that a Gibson or so. Where do you guys fall on that as far as the Cardinals Hall of Fame? Should it be a miniature version of the Hall of Fame, or should it be like, oh my gosh, this guy hit a grand slam and won the World Series? You're in.
I think it's more for the fans. So that's why I always respected Freese for when he got elected to say, look, you look at my career and I don't stack up with all these people. But at the same time, I honestly wish he wouldn't have done that because something like that is so much for the fans. And if the fans are going to induct you into that, then to me, the buck stops right there. You deserve to be in if the fans say you deserve to be in.
And don't you feel like he'd get one of the biggest ovations?
He would 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely would. And I think they don't have to be the same thing, right? You don't have to be a baseball Hall of Famer to have a major part in a team's franchise history. You know, because there are some that I've seen it on a couple times on Twitter here recently too, where people were like, why do they have guys with red jackets that aren't in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Well, why not?
Right.
It's a Cardinals Hall of Fame. Every team in every sport has their own Hall of Fame or Ring of Honor. And they're not just honoring people that are already honored at the national level. They're all people that had a major impact on the history of the franchise. And, you know, David Freese didn't have a 10 or 12-year run with the Cardinals. He had a good run, but he had arguably maybe two of the greatest individual moments that the Cardinals franchise has ever had, two of the most memorable anyway, in the same game. And was a big part of a team winning a World Series. So, yeah, that's a big deal.
He changed the definition of two words because now if you say the words Game 6,
yeah,
that's where your mind immediately goes to. And without David Freese, Game 6 means something completely different.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe he'll change his mind.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't have any problem with his choice. He shouldn't. I mean, it's his choice to just basically bow out because for whatever his reasons are. I mean, you know, there are a lot of reasons on and off the field that he chose to go that route.
Yeah.
That's fine to respect that. I have no issue with that. I just don't understand why there's an extra level of gatekeeping from certain elements of a fan base when it comes to that. Because, I mean, you know, I think one of the greatest examples is Willie McGee. Willie McGee doesn't hold up to the Baseball Hall of Fame standards, but he's clearly one of the great Cardinals players. He's one of the most popular players in history. He was a part of one of the greatest eras in Cardinals history, and he was a great player for the Cardinals. He should be honored that way. Like, that's cool. We don't need to gatekeep him like, no, it should only be for the real Hall of Famers, because that's silly.
You know, when I was in Milwaukee, I had to vote for Brewers version of that. And my take on it was because you could fill out as many names as you wanted. Like, there's a large ballot and you weren't restricted to like 10 votes or whatever. I never wanted to be the vote that kept somebody out. So I was very liberal with my voting. And if I knew that like somebody else I respected was voting for somebody, I was probably going to vote for them as well, because I think things like that, you should have as many people involved in it as possible. It's a chance to relive great moments. It's a chance to honor somebody who deserves to be honored. Like, I love stuff like that. I wish more guys went into the Baseball Hall of Fame, like the big one in Cooperstown. But no matter what Hall of Fame we're talking about, let's put more people in.
Yeah.
Let's honor people. Let's make things good and fun and happy.
I know, like all things, you had ups and downs in Milwaukee. When you look back, who did you walk away thinking that was a great guy?
Brian Anderson, the TV voice who does a lot of national stuff.
Yeah.
People see him on Turner. He does NBA, then he does the baseball stuff. I think with Joe Buck not doing national baseball play-by-play, Brian Anderson is the best national baseball play-by-play. He might be just the best national play-by-play guy, period. But certainly he's easily number one when it comes to baseball right now. And he is as good of a play-by-play guy as he is. He's a better human being. So he's one of my favorite people in the world.
Very nice. Kevin, how about you? Just overall in sports, who have you walked away thinking, I can't believe what a nice guy this guy is?
There've been, you know, here obviously there's just a million answers. I mean, like, that was my first takeaway with guys like Ozzie Smith and Lou Brock, right? Like, how are they so nice? Like, you know, because if you're that famous, it's kind of hard sometimes to be nice all the time, but they pull it off. You know, it's more than I guess the way I would put this is there are a lot more of those than you think.
Yeah, well
of
said.
The people where you'll walk away and like, man, I like that guy. That's a good guy, because you get overwhelmed sometimes by the few that are kind of pains in the ass. But like, I mean, literally every person I ever interacted with the Blues pretty much falls into that category. Bobby Plager's was the nicest human being in the world. You know, all of them. I mean, you name somebody that's been over there in the last 18 years since I've been they're all great dudes. David Back is a great. Andy Murray was a great guy. John Davidson was a cool guy. You know, I mean, like, Tom Stillman's a great guy. I haven't had a chance to spend much time around Montgomery, but Craig Bruby's a great dude. Ken Hitchcock was awesome. Like, literally, there's so many good.
Yeah.
It's impossible to name all of the positive times where you're like, man, What a great guy that guy is.
Matt, I used to go to the Blues Alumni Club a lot about 10 years ago. And when Fee was 8 to 10 years old, she and a friend, I took them with me up to the Alumni Club. And I knew Bobby Plager, well enough. And he came over and said hello. And he would reach in Phoebe's popcorn bucket and then throw it on the fans. And so the fans turn around like, hey, MFer. And they're like, oh, my God, it's Bobby Plager. And they're doing all this stuff. So we come home from the game. And Maureen's like, I think it was her first game, her first Blues game ever. And she's like, how was the game? Did you love it? She goes, it was all good, but some old man kept putting his stinky fingers in my popcorn. I'm just like, oh my God. Remember when we met him?
Oh, yeah.
Got to wear his
Yeah,
ring?
at that charity event. He was so unbelievably
Oh,
nice.
man.
I went up to him, said hello, got a picture. He ended up coming back to me 15 minutes later and saying, no, you need to get another picture with my ring. And I'm just like, who does that?
Yeah.
Like, who remembers? Who wants to make sure you have the best possible photo? He was so sweet.
Somebody should make a biopic about the Plager brothers.
Yeah.
It would be so great. It would be funny. It would be like, my God, that really happened. but it would also be like showing you the really cool, nice side of these guys who, ended up being rock stars in St. Louis, even though they're, not from here. They just ended up being, kind of this is how it worked out for
So
them.
Bobby and I used to do events together, just like, when we go out and we do remotes, and he and I were doing them together for a while. And he used to take such pride in telling me how to get free breakfasts. And he would say, Dave, here's what you do. You go to like a Drury Inn that has a comp breakfast. He said, here's the key. You put a rolled up newspaper under your arm, and it just looks like you are staying there. And then you wait for someone to come to the front desk and check out, Mr. Rabinowitz checking out. And then you go in there and you just eat breakfast. And if they ask you, you say you're Mr. Rabinowitz. I'm like, you are Bobby freaking Plager. You never have to pay for another meal your whole life. But he prided on himself on like getting free breakfast.
That's funny.
What a character, right? Can you talk about what Mr. DeWitt talked about today at the meeting?
Yeah, so we had a little luncheon over at Busch Stadium today. A lot of radio folks were over there, and Bill DeWitt III said that I don't know where it's at in like the governmental process in Jeff City and everything, but something that is being worked on right now is creating an entertainment district in downtown. It would include all the major sports venues, so Busch Stadium, Enterprise Center, Energizer Park, and the Dome, plus Union Station. That would create an entertainment district, and money would be diverted specifically to that district, where basically like a police force just for that district would be created. There could be some other things that go along with it, but the big thing was public safety. So it almost sounded like there might be like a police unit or department just for that district and nothing else, which look, anybody who walks around in this area, we're in that district where we're at right now. You walk around, if there's not an event going on, you don't know what you're going to see. It's not the most inviting thing in the world. So I love that because I think that is the front door to St. Louis, without a doubt. So you got to, if you don't get anything else right, get that right. And hopefully it happens.
I mean, we've talked forever. How long, Dave? I mean, ever since I've been on the show, but you guys have been doing it longer than that. What's your draw if you're the city of St. Louis? What's your draw to bring people in?
Sports.
That's it right now, right? We don't have the music scene of Nashville. You don't have the same things that other places have, but you do have some really strong sports franchises. We got 3 in particular right down the row. And, you've got the ability to host big events and things along those lines at the Dome and the Convention Center. And Union Station, obviously being right there in the mix of all that, makes sense to include it. You have all of this ability. And think about what we try to sell, right? We know the Cardinals exist and the Blues exist and City exists. But the other thing, like this weekend, you get the Frozen Four in St. Louis. You need more of those.
Mm-hmm.
We need more big NCAA events. So to get people to come here, that's a big sell. Safety, stuff to do, places to eat, something to do. So you see what's happening over by SLU, where you have Top Golf and you have different things where people can go. What's the mini golf place that's right down there?
Putt Shack.
Putt Shack. I mean, things like that. You've got to build this up to be a large chunk of downtown, and now you have a draw.
Amen. I love it. It's the best idea I've heard in St. Louis in a long time.
Right. Yeah. The problem is people in Jeff City have to get it right.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do.
Maybe they put their money where their mouth is. I love that.
I mean, so goes the city, so goes the state, right? And not just this city, but this city and Kansas City, basically.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, pal. Quick break, right back. DGS.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
So I'm going to tell you the zero res deal for the month, but I'm going to sell you on the customer service and the great job that they do. So every month they have a DGS deal. This month it's 3 rooms of carpeting starting at $119. Take another $75 off your air duct cleaning. Now let me sell you on how good they are. I've been in business with them now for 15, 16, 18 years. It's been a long time. Thousands of DGS listeners have used Zero Res. I personally have never had a complaint. That's saying something. I mean, in this day and age, and people are very complainy, no one's ever reached out to me and said, like, these guys were terrible and they this and they that. They do have the 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee, which is if within 30 days of having them clean your carpets or your area rugs or your upholstery, your couches, your chairs, your air ducts, if you're not completely happy with it, you just give them a call, say, hey, like, I'm a little, underwhelmed. They'll come out. They'll do it again until you are happy. They are punctual. They are professional. They just do everything right. So if you haven't had your carpets professionally cleaned in the last few years, you need them. It's going to make a big difference. It's going to be more hygienic for you and your family. You have summer coming up. Just get ready for that. 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller John Nix Treasurer.
It's your money. $1 billion budget each year at City Hall. Darlene Green is the seat at the table for our community. Darlene Green manages our tax dollars with a steady hand. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller. Respected, trusted, our voice for the community. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller because it's your money.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra presents Brahms' Violin Concerto, Friendship and Solace, a journey through life, joy, loss, and rebirth. Conductor John Storgards and the SLSO explore the deep humanity of Brahms' Violin Concerto, performed by violinist Francesca Dago, and the epic journey of Sibelius's Lemminkäinen Suite, April 11th, 12th, and 13th at Unsel's Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Tickets at slso.org.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
News, talk, cars. 104.1 FM KMOX. Weekdays at noon.
Welcome into the Gas House Gang. I'm Chris Ranji.
The Gas House Gang.
I'm Tom Ackerman.
Insight from experts who cover the team. Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the Gas House Gang.
We have a cast of, do we call them characters or just people?
Characters.
You'll hear from the likes of Bernie Miklasz and Mike Claiborne and John Rooney.
The Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. 11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, KMOX.
$323 DGS. So someone who watches us on, I say on television. What do I say? Do I say television?
You always, I've just noticed this about you, Dave, working with you for 8 years
Yeah.
now. You always say television. You never say TV.
Huh.
It's just a quirk. I
Yeah.
mean, nothing wrong with it. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
It's just you always say television.
Well, people who watch us on television
Watch us on the TV.
asking why we always wear headphones when we're clearly close enough to hear each other's natural voice. I didn't have a good answer other than it makes you sound cool.
Well, for me, it's so I know we're on the air. So if I'm talking into the mic and I don't hear myself, that means
Yeah.
the mic isn't on.
That's a good one.
You know, it's
Should've
just nice.
thought of that.
And it's also just nice to moderate, you know, your vocal levels and like, hey, this is how I sound going out over the air right now. So
Gotcha.
You also
there you
hear
go.
things like the music being played
Yes.
in and out of breaks and things along those lines.
correct.
It is weird being on television. Rach was saying that she's been yawning without covering her mouth. And I shared with her that earlier today, I caught myself picking my nose
Well,
You know, it
right there on
happens.
camera.
everyone does it.
Yeah, you're saying like, why do we give each other such crap for doing things that,
I mean, like literally,
like wiping your butt on the towel? Who doesn't do that?
that's just you, Dave.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's like so many things too, right? I mean, yeah, okay, the picking the nose, burping, like, hey, y'all, everybody, every single human being does these things, and then you catch someone doing it, like, ha ha ha, I got you.
Yeah, gotcha.
I did it 2
Got you
minutes
doing
ago.
the most
and you
natural
didn't-
thing.
Like, what are we? Why are we so weird?
You know, we were talking about yesterday that AI, whether you believe it or not, says that it has figured out that fingerprints are not unique. And it makes you wonder, what else do we have wrong?
A lot.
Everything. I mean, it's just got to be
A
everything.
lot.
We're so cocky.
Yeah, we're fully confident we've got it all figured out, and there's just simply no way.
I'm looking at my fingerprints right now.
What do
Don't
you
often
think?
do this.
So am I. Wow. Here, look.
They are weird, aren't they?
They
What?
are.
I don't know. Never
Yeah,
thought
look
of it.
closely, but there they are.
Why do we have them?
I guess to grip stuff better, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
So that the cops can catch us.
Yep.
It's just a way
we
to
have-
keep us honest. Because we're such deceptive, devious little things.
I was watching an interview with George Harrison earlier today on TikTok, and it's so great. Like the Beatles are so revered, right? For good reason. But George was talking about what bad songs Paul McCartney wrote sometimes.
Oh.
And he was talking about Maxwell Silver Hammer. And he said, what a fruity song. He said he was writing songs for 14-year-olds. He said, we ended up making it into an okay song. We did good work, but he said, I hated that song from the minute he wrote it. Isn't that refreshing?
I love stuff like that. Because even they are like, this isn't great.
Yeah, right.
Not that you said it was George saying this,
George.
not that he would have any sort of chip on his shoulder about
Right.
songwriting or
No,
anything
no,
like
no.
that.
I have a hot take
Yeah.
for you. As a lifelong giant Beatles fan, I'm beginning to think that Paul is in third place. Now, Ringo, I've said many times, the Beatles would not be the Beatles without Ringo, without his energy, his humor, his unique look. I don't think the Beatles make it without Ringo. Everyone was entranced by him. But I think when it comes to songwriting ability and talent and such, I think Paul might be behind John and George. Tell me I'm wrong.
I trust your expert opinion.
Paul's always been my favorite, but
Because he's cute.
not
He's the cute one.
necessarily.
He didn't even
I just
notice.
like
He's
his
the
singing.
cute one.
He's the cute one.
My dad thought I was a woman
Really?
to his
Yeah.
dying day.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a preference with the three of them.
Find that hard to believe.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
So I'm kind of a weird guy, as you know. When I go places I haven't been, even fun places like a new restaurant, or back in the days when I used to travel and, go to resorts and things like that, I always wanted the most information I could get. And if you're like that, let me tell you, rather than being hyperbolic about Mike and Michael's Flooring, been with me for 24 years, here's what it's like. So 3 locations, and they couldn't be more flooring stores. They're not huge. They're not small. They're not opulent. They're not threadbare. They're flooring stores. They look exactly like flooring stores. You go in, there'll be more people working than are there probably because they're well staffed. Hi, how are you? Anything I can help you with? I would lead with, I heard about you on the DGS, because for a quarter century now, most of their leads have come from this show. So they're going to roll out the red carpet, no pun, but they're not going to bother you. They're not going to chase you. They're not going to follow you. But when it comes time to say, you know what, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in the middle of the road, Coronet, Berber, XYZ, they'll give you their actual opinion, which another thing I love. I love going to a restaurant. Hey, what's good on the menu tonight? Chef really likes the halibut. So to me, it's the best way to shop. No one's going to hover, but no one's going to ignore. You can find the closest of the 3 locations to you by going to michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
Well, northbound 170, you're slow from 70 up through Airport Road. South 170 is just a little busy at Brentwood. That doesn't look that bad. If you're westbound on Highway 70, a little slow west of 94. TR Hughes out to Bryan Road, and then A to Z in the Wentzville area. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway all the way to Hanley's busy. A couple of slowdowns between McKnight and Spady, and in St. Charles County, 364 on out to 70. South 270 is on the brakes south of Dorset to Ladue, but it remains slow all the way down to Gravel. Again, flooding still an issue in the Fenton area with 141 still closed under 44. Southbound 141 jammed at Elfrich. Of course, you can go both directions on 44 from southbound, not from northbound. All you can do is go east, but it's not an issue in the afternoon. It's just the mornings. Westbound 44 is slow. Lindbergh out to 270. Eastbound 44 east to Bowles to 270 busy. Southbound 55 Arsenal through Bates, and then through McNutt toward Highway A and downtown. That emergency repair work eastbound on the Poplar in the left lanes at the Illinois end has traffic on 64 and 44, jammed both right around Jefferson. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Have you been injured in an accident? You need a personal injury law firm that wins. Onder wins. For over 100 years, we've been fighting and winning for St. Louis. $5 billion in negotiated settlements? We've got it. $300 million in verdicts? Done. Voted best law firm by STL Today 2 years in a row. Onder wins all the time. Car accident, trucking accident, workplace injury. No matter the case, let Onder win for you. When the stakes are high, we're the team you can trust. Wondering what your case is worth? Call now for a free consultation. And remember, we don't get paid unless you win. Dial 314 or 618-9-million. That's 9, then all zeros. Or visit onderwins.com today. Onder Law. Winning is what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
The easiest way to park on game day is to park with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking garages in St. Louis. iParkit has 2 convenient garages on Clark Avenue, located right next door on either side of the ballpark. The iParkit Game Day garages have multiple entry and exits to accommodate all fans, no matter where you're coming from or headed to after the game. Download the iParkit app and drive in and out using only your license plate. Use iParkit for convenience and peace of mind on game day.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates,
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Dave Murray's weather is brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Remember, you can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM, KMOX. Happy Tuesday. Dave Murray joins us. Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
It's a lovely day out there, I think.
It's chilly.
Yeah.
For where we've been anyway. Not necessarily chilly for early April, but it's chilly. The city got down to about 33 last night.
Mhm.
Most folks got down to 29, 30 degrees.
I have some beautiful flowering trees in my yard. Is that going to kill them?
No, we need to get down to about 27, 28 to really affect those blooms. So peaches, the Bradford pears, stuff like that, they're all going to be fine.
Nice. And we warm up later in the week?
Yeah, we really start to warm up tomorrow. 68 for the high. Southerly flow returns. Could be a couple of limited rain showers around, maybe a thunder shower. Limited's the key word. Be a little windy from the south. Then Thursday, a stronger cold front comes in. It's not a powerful front, but it comes in. Mixed clouds and sunshine, scattered showers and thunder showers. Nothing severe. A little uptick in moisture Thursday, though. 67. Sunny, slightly cooler on Friday. 59. We warm up again for the weekend with temperatures in the 60s, and we could be close to 80 degrees come Monday afternoon of next week, and then we'll cool back a little bit. Full moon coming up on Saturday. It is known as the pink moon.
Is there a reason for that, or just
Yes,
ran
the-
out of stuff?
They ran out of stuff. No, the phlox are in bloom, and they typically are pink.
You guys doing a lot of gardening these days? Have you started yet? Or is it year round out there?
Oh, it's year round. It's year round.
Yeah.
Bragger.
But there are 4 distinct seasons.
Mhm.
You can't grow warm weather stuff in the wintertime. But I've got snap peas going and lettuce and onions and stuff like that. Citrus looking good, except for one tree. I'm a little disappointed about one tree, but I think I'm going to get it replaced.
I feel bad for that tree. Every time Dave walks out in the yard, it's like, God.
You're exactly
Dave
right.
Murray's
That's
disappointed in me.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was talking yesterday, Dave, about one of the grandmas in my neighborhood was snapping beans. Does that mean anything to you? Wheels had never heard of that.
Does it mean more than what it actually means as snapping beans? There
Yeah.
must be another phrase to it.
Green
no,
beans.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. You'd heard of it, Rach?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wheels would make me feel crazy.
I mean, I'm a city boy, you know.
You didn't snap beans on 5 Mile?
More
or
like a
meant
suburb.
something different?
More like a suburb boy, less than a city boy.
How close to the city were you?
I'm probably 20 minutes from downtown, 25 minutes from downtown.
That's not a city boy.
No, I know. That's why I changed it to suburb boy.
20 minutes outside of St. Louis, and you're in farmland.
Did you live in the Kirkwood of Detroit?
Let's see. So initially, no, but probably it was newer than that, right? Kirkwood's older, right?
Yeah.
Like it's more new. It would be more like when I was in high school, more like Chesterfield-ish.
What did you think of St. Louis when you first got here?
That it was a lot like where I grew up. Yeah, I mean,
What town? What town?
I mean, I grew up in a place called Livonia, which is one of the biggest cities in Detroit, but it's just all houses and people living there. It's not like a city.
Yeah.
But that's why I say Chesterfield, because it's big like that. Covers a lot of area. There's a lot of people that live there. Similar like variations in like types of houses that you'll find. Some really big fancies and then some normies. But like
you have a statue for yourself? You're
for
a
me,
big deal.
they don't care about me.
That's a lot of bronze.
They don't care about me.
An expensive statue.
But I'll say, I mean, I lived there for I've actually lived here now as long as I lived in Detroit full time.
That's got to be kind of weird.
So yeah, it's a little weird. And then obviously I spent 13, 14 years in the Chicago area. Every one of these cities is exactly the same when you're in the suburbs.
Yeah,
you're right.
Suburbs are suburbs, man. Now, the only place I've lived that was different was Miami. Miami's just different and weird and scattered, and every area is like a little, there's a rich spot here next to a little, like a beach spot next to a normie spot. Like it's like scattered all over the place.
So when Detroit has come back a long way.
The city has, yeah, downtown has.
When it was bad, was it worse than St. Louis is now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, I mean, you can measure crime stuff probably going to end up being similar, but like No, I mean it was much more prominent in terms of just how much was empty and vacant and run down and things along those lines. It was worse.
How did they kind of come back?
Well, state took over for a lot of it. They got some better leadership in downtown. Like I'm not to brag, but the mayor of Detroit went to my high school. Older than me, I would never have known him. But like he's a pretty smart guy. I don't remember if he's Republican or Democrat. I don't even care. But he's a pretty smart guy. He knows how to kind of like fix problems and address issues and like build things towards growth as opposed to just fixing potholes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you do that. You have to do that. But he understood some things that it took to kind of build back. And look, it doesn't hurt that they ended up getting money, state money, to build really 3 kind of state-of-the-art stadiums really right next to each other downtown. And there are a couple of casinos there, the Fox Theater's there. So they had some good stuff to work with there. But it doesn't hurt to have 4 major league teams all playing in that one spot, right? Because you got an NFL team, a baseball team, a basketball team, and a hockey team.
That's
and you
where
got
I think we've
made
made a mistake. In St. Louis, we've made a mistake with that.
Dave, Matt Pauley was at the broadcasters lunch at the Cardinals today, and Mr. DeWitt said that they have a plan that's going through the legislature as we speak to basically make like an open air mall from Union Station past the Enterprise Center, past Bush, over to America Center. Is that what we're calling it now? I forget.
Yeah, the Dome.
But all 4 of the venues, making it seamless and using a portion of the revenues to hire like a private police force.
Or I think maybe just to direct towards the police department for its own little,
I
don't know, what do they call it? Like
that'd
headquarters?
That'd be good.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah.
I mean, I love that idea. Like, I'm all about sports guy stuff. But you're definitely going to have to work harder to find more events, right? I mean, and the St. Louis Sports Commission does an amazing job, right? Bringing in things like the Frozen Four this weekend or the NCAA gymnastics championships when they come. Like, they do that all the time, and that stuff's coming and going, and they do a great job of that. But you probably want to have as much of that as you can. And if you don't have the infrastructure that you're talking about there, you're losing competitions to Kansas City, Indianapolis, other Midwestern cities that have better structures in place for that stuff. So you want to continue to compete to get these really cool events that can supplement having the Cardinals, the Blues, City, and all of that. And then the Battlehawks during their season. It helps to do that. Plus, think about it. You can also, how much does that build into your ability to pull off really cool, things like that for concerts?
Yeah.
You have concerts at Busch, you have concerts at Enterprise, you have concerts at the Dome. So it's more than just sports. That's why they're calling it sports and entertainment.
Yeah. Headlines, Rach?
Yep. Brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. The modern workplace is facing a productivity crisis as workers are losing interest in their current roles. In fact, according to a new survey, 79% of employees feel disengaged at work.
I wonder how that compares to past times.
Yeah,
that would have been me until this job. I mean, every job I had, including being a lawyer, put me in the disengaged category.
But you didn't have jobs that you were passionate about until this one.
No.
Right.
No.
And I think that's really what it comes down to is that. And then
I
also
was passionate about faking them.
And I saw a video, I don't know, maybe last week, and it was a woman probably in her 50s, and she's a C-suite executive, and she was complaining about how they don't have the same kind of like engagement from employees, kind of like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have people that are willing to solve problems themselves and do things without being told specifically to do a thing. And a lot of the responses were, well, yeah, because there's no reward for doing it. And a guy that replied, I thought made a good point. He goes, I've done both things in my career at the same job. He said something like he's been in his job for 10 years. He said, there have been periods where I don't try at all and nothing changes. And there are periods where I go all out and I'm over the top and nothing changes. So, as with most things, incentives matter. Do I have a chance to move up? Am I going to get a raise? Can I get bonuses? You incentivize the behavior that you want, right? And if you don't incentivize it, then why is someone going to give it to you? Just to get a bare minimum salary with bare minimum benefits? Better be a damn fun job. Otherwise, good luck.
So the Trump administration is considering a military parade in Washington, D.C. on June 14th, which also happens to be President Trump's 79th birthday.
Wow, what a happenstance.
Well, yeah, it would be basically like for his birthday, according to this story.
Oh, for God's sake.
The Army is discussing adding a parade to its 250th birthday festival, but no final decisions have been made on either parade.
That's fine.
Yeah, they said it's going to cost $100 million.
For which one?
For the Trump birthday party.
Can we just not do military birthday parties for our presidents? Like, I don't care who it is.
I'm down.
I mean, that, like, come on, that's
Yeah, it's maybe for his 80th, but the 79th.
Yeah,
you know,
79th is not.
Look, man,
then
if
we
you're,
got to top it for the 80th, and it's like
if you're
that's
gonna
too
do it for the
expensive.
250th birthday of the United States Army, God love you. That's fine. But we should be celebrating institutions and things like that, and not an individual person's birthday with super costly, expensive things.
Speaking of President Trump, a new poll shows who would win between President Trump and President Barack Obama. You know, if we open up the floodgates and you can run for 3 terms, Obama's included with that too, if you would want to do it. A recent poll showed that in a hypothetical matchup, 53% of voters would choose Obama over Trump.
He says he'd like to take him on.
God, just
Oh boy.
can we just stop?
Next season on
Can
The
we
Real
just
Housewives.
I would be very surprised if Obama had any interest in running again, because he pretty much like the second he was out of
He's
there,
doing okay.
Come
he
on,
was
you know
like,
what, though?
he was like, I've got nothing to
That's
do with
fine.
this anymore.
That's fine when you know you're done. If you open that race, that'll be the first thing on his mind every day, because you can't. People are not going to walk away from that. Who has? You think you're going to be the favorite to win and you're going to walk away from it? No way. I don't buy it. I believe he'd run in a heartbeat, because the draw to that power is too much for almost everybody.
Kevin's very opinionated today.
I'm a little irritated. I'm not going to lie. Like this stuff.
I think it's
listen here,
that.
Obama.
I think it's that fried rice I bought you
That
for
was
lunch.
so good, though.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, bye-bye.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report's a service of Siding Express as you head out the door and head home this afternoon on westbound Highway 64. Backed up from Kings Highway out to McCausland. It's slow. Lindbergh all the way to 270. It's slow again from 364 out to Highway 70. Westbound 70 is a little busy at the airport. There's some slow stuff right through 94, and it backs up jams, actually. 79 out to about Highway K. South 270, that jam's approaching Page all the way down to Clayton Road. Then it's slow all the way down to Gravois. Of course, folks going around different ways nowadays. So with the flooding, of course, 141 remains closed under 44. Southbound 141 jams at Helfrich 44. East and westbound between Bowles and 270, slow westbound. Actually, the delays begin west of Big Bend. Eastbound 44 and 64 both backed up around Jefferson onto the Poplar because of the emergency repair work in the left lanes at the Illinois end. Southbound 55, Arsenal down through Bates, bumper to bumper. North of Z through McNutt, there's some slow stuff. Eastbound 70 heavy across the Musical Veterans Bridge. Eastbound Highway 70, that emergency repair work continues before Route 4. Traffic is jammed back to the 3 Eyes at 270, and eastbound 64 passing Route 4 midway into 161. There's heavy traffic there. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardy Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardy Siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation at sidingexpress.com. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Big news. In 2025, Social Security will increase by 2.5%. Is that really big news? What does that mean for your retirement wallet? And now for the really tough questions. When and how should you claim your Social Security benefit? How does it fit into your financial future? There are several claiming options, and you don't want to leave money on the table. That's why it's important to work with a professional like Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group. Join Steve for an exclusive Social Security presentation at the All Financial Group office Wednesday, April 16th. This event is complimentary, but you do need to reserve your spot today. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824, or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
You know, it's going to be Easter before we know it, just a couple of weeks here. And if you are looking for an Easter dessert to take to your family gathering or whatever you have going on that day, keep Schnucks in mind. The Schnucks Bakery is so incredible. They make so many wonderful things: cakes, pies, cupcakes, cookies. Oh my gosh, the cookies, the donuts that I was telling you about yesterday. They're so good. They're so quality, and they're at an amazing price point. And you just know that Schnucks is really consistent when it comes to their bakery. So keep them in mind if you need to bring a treat somewhere, or, you know, just picking up some chocolates and other little candies to put in your Easter eggs. Make sure you shop at Schnucks for that. Also, while you're shopping at Schnucks, make sure you use your Schnucks Rewards app. You earn 5% cash back on every, or not 5%, pardon me, 2% cash back on every single thing that you purchase. You also get personalized savings in the app based on what you typically buy at Schnucks. You can even use the app to do curbside pickup or delivery. It's all streamlined for you. It makes the process easy, and it's very easy to set up. Go download it today. It's called the Schnucks Rewards app.
Spring is here. Time for daffodils and road construction. Do your part to avoid a work zone crash. Pay attention, slow down, put the phone down while driving so we can all go home safe. Join the 11th Annual St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K, Saturday, April 19th in Chesterfield. Sign up today at kingmox.com/events. That's kingmox.com/events. Brought to you by the Missouri Coalition of Roadway Safety.
St. Louis, your Battlehawks are back at home this Sunday, April 13th to take on the DC Defenders. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com and dress for the Blue Masquerade, the St. Louis Battlehawks, this Sunday, April 13th. All tickets available at UFLBattlehawks.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Welcome back, DGS. Well, I gotta say something. Mark Reardon finally did something right.
Made cookies.
Damn. If you had, I gave you one of those. That's a Mark Reardon cookie.
What? Why?
It's his new hobby.
It's his new hobby. It's his new passion.
He caught me in the hall like a week and a half ago, and he's like, "Did you have those cookies?" I'm like, "Yeah, I had one." He goes, "I make those now. That's my new hobby." I'm like, "Great, keep making them. Let's go."
That was like top 5 chocolate chip cookies I've had.
They're very good. He makes the double chocolate ones too that are also very solid.
Yeah. I wouldn't have eaten it if I had known that. No, that's weird. I mean, I think a lot of KMOX listeners know Mark. That's a strange hobby for him to pick up, but good for him.
It's a great hobby. I'm happy for him.
I'm not trying to judge.
Why are we talking like this?
I'm not trying to judge a man's hobby.
I get where Andrew's coming from. It does seem a little out of left field. Like,
yeah, you
makes
wouldn't
cookies now.
Yeah, you wouldn't strike him as like a baker. That wouldn't be like the first thing.
Grilling or something.
Yeah, there you go.
He's
like
not a
grilling.
Are you saying it's not manly enough for Mark Reardon?
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. He's awfully high strung for a relaxing hobby like
That's why he's doing it.
That's why he needs it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a young child too. Young kids like cookies.
That's why I crochet. I wish I could crochet.
Dave just calming himself down.
Yeah.
I have a crochet kit if you want to try it.
Nah.
My wife hated it. That's why
my mom was a big crocheter, and I don't know.
I have tried to crochet about 500,000 times, and I just can't go beyond the chain. I can crochet a chain, and then you add to the next one. It's like I get lost in the yarn.
Yeah, my mom was great. She was great at crocheting and very good at making quilts. Seamstress. She made me a lot of goofy clothes.
Sewing to me is much easier than the crochet.
Yeah?
I don't know why.
Well, you did make Turd Baby.
I did make turd baby. hmm
Where's he
You know,
living
out of
these
context,
days?
that sounds kind of weird.
Let's just leave it. Let's let it lay
Yeah, all
there.
right, that's
Just
fine.
trying not to get myself in trouble. Every thought is
Wheels?
like
Little
nope.
Rage made a turd baby.
Every thought is like nope, nope, nope.
I don't know how
I
they
should have
could.
never told that story on this show.
Oh, it was a
that
giant mistake.
That was a giant mistake, and as I was doing it, I was like, "Oh, no going back from this one."
Can I tell Wheels what your dad did?
Sure.
So she made turd baby.
Right.
Which was supposed to be a gingerbread man. He
Right,
was made
right.
out of brown
I
fabric.
saw is that a picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the picture. He
Yeah.
looks like a gingerbread man.
Yeah, kind of.
No. No, he looks
He
like
also looks like a turd.
he looks like he should have corn on him. And so her dad
Thanks, Dave.
took it and started laughing, and he put it back by his butt and dropped it and went.
Yep.
No, that's a dad.
Yeah.
Way to support your child's
That's
creative
definitely-
interest.
Did you
definitely-
laugh?
Oh, I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
It was very funny. But it was
Yeah.
also like, oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Wish I had a second shot at that. you
So-
know?
Yeah.
so
Or you
now-
could make a new one.
I guess I could. I've thought about making them like for Operation Food Search or something and selling
No,
them
the
during the
gingerbread
holidays.
man.
But
Please.
who wants one of those?
A gingerbread man?
Everyone. That has to be our premium item.
What if it's perfect? What if you nail it? It's just like, man, that's awesome.
We can find someone to mass produce those.
All right.
Yeah, put a little Santa hat on it.
Oh, he could be on the sticker this year.
There you go.
It's appetizing.
I love it.
Along with Hardee's.
Like Mr.
So
Hanky.
decades later, turd baby is iconic.
Yeah.
What in the weeks afterwards? Did you stick him in a drawer?
I feel like my mom just immediately took him and kept him because it was like a fun family memory. I didn't he wasn't in the like toy rotation or anything. No. He's been
Have
pretty
the
well
girls
preserved.
met TB?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, come on. That has to happen. That has to
They're
happen.
very sweet little girls. They'd probably be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I like it here."
You might have given them a couple more years.
Yeah. Wait till they're about 12.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Experienced, trusted, honest. Comptroller Darlene Green showed up for us. Re-elect Darlene Green. She showed up to protect the airport from being privatized. She showed up and saved 3,000 NGA jobs. She showed up and the city earned a AA credit rating. Darlene Green showed up for employee raises, workers' rights, and women's rights. Vote Tuesday, April 8th. Darlene Green for Comptroller, because it's your money. Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, John Nix, Treasurer.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545.
Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
Well, they just sent EMS crews for incident southbound 55 near Double T south of 61, so watch for any activity there. I just see slow traffic around Z down to McNutt right now on southbound 55, so it's just normal traffic there, and it's just slow in the city as well, but you've got delays from almost 44 now all the way down to Bates on southbound 55 at that point. Downtown, eastbound 44 and 64 both jamming around Jefferson onto the Poplar because of the emergency repair work in the left lanes at the Illinois end. That means folks are taking eastbound 70. It's slow all the way across the Musial Veterans Bridge over to 64. The emergency repair work continues on eastbound 70, west of Route 4. Traffic's jammed back to the Three Eyes in Troy, and eastbound 64. Roadwork delays from Route 4 most of the way into 161 if you're traveling that route. If you're on westbound Highway 70, slow stuff from 170 all the way to 270. From west of 370 now out through Bryan Road's kind of busy. Westbound 64 from Boyle out through McCausland's heavy, and 364 out to 7.